Hello, good morning. Happy Friday. Oh, all right, let's get started today. Today, we're going to talk about one of the purposes for the channel is to try to help people become a little bit smarter, a little bit better people, and have a lot of fun. And today, we're going to look at some ways that we can do that, become a little smarter or become better people. We're going to talk about ways to overcome our beast. I don't think you fully overcome it, but I think there are parts of us beyond the beast, which is really what I should have called this. In fact, I think I'm going to change the name right now. Beyond the beast. We all know the beast. It's that impulse in us to violence, to smash things, people, lust, greed. But I don't think that's the best part of what humans are capable of or what we have to offer. I think we have found ways throughout history as we've developed and evolved to do something more than just act like savages and primitives and apes on this planet. So today we're going to look at some of those. I have a notebook video, and then we're going to discuss a bit. Before we do that, I'm going to check the news, look at Twitter a little bit, give people a chance to show up, and then we'll get into the video. Big news is we have no idea what's happening in the Middle East. There's a military buildup. Iran's been given a week or two to make some kind of decision. Prince Andrew, I guess, got arrested for suspicion of misconduct, whatever that means. I still can't find any details. It looks like he wasn't charged with anything and he was released, but that he's under investigation or available for questioning. The Supreme Court, for those of you that think that we're living in corrupt times and the Supreme Court is colluding with Trump and it's not an independent branch of government, they just ruled against Trump 6-3 that his tariffs under that IEPP thing are not legal. He has to give all that money back. And it was several of the conservative justices along with some of the liberal justices that made this ruling. So I don't know how you can see that and still continue with this narrative that the Supreme Court is not an independent branch of government, which serves as a check on the executive branch and Congress. In fact, they even said in their ruling that Congress is the one that can determine to raise tariffs or not. The president does not have the unilateral authority under this IEPP thing to do so. Speaking of Trump, I'm going to play this little video from Twitter. This was from a few days ago. Our racist president is celebrating Black History Month and honoring Black people. So let's hear his racism.
Nearly 10,000 African Americans fought for the patriot cause in the Revolutionary War. Did you know that? 10,000, and it's actually a number, even I've heard even higher than that, helping secure our independence in every generation since, from the Buffalo Soldiers to the Tuskegee Airmen. Black Americans have stepped forward to defend the flag and to defend our country like few others, really, like few others. And you've never really been given the recognition that you should get for that. You know that, Ben? They never, I don't think a lot of people have given the kind of recognition, but everyone knows all about the Tuskegee Airmen. They were great and amazing. The Buffalo Soldiers. Do you know the Buffalo Soldiers? Good stuff, right? From jazz to the blues, that you know, that you do get recognition for. Jazz, the blues, from rock and roll to rap, Black artists like Chuck Berry, Muddy Waters. How about Nicki Minaj? Do we love Nicki Minaj? Right? I love Nicki Minaj. She was here a couple of weeks ago. She's so beautiful. Her skin's so beautiful. I said, Nicki is so beautiful. her nails are like that long.
Yeah.
I said, Nikki, are they real? She said, she didn't want to get into that. But she was so beautiful and so great. And she gets it, more importantly,
I'm not
Francie,
happy
she
with the
gets it.
yellow tie.
But black
Other
leaders
street
from
camera work.
Frederick Douglass to Martin Luther King, right? Little relative over here, have made our country freer, and really what they've really done is made life more just.
There you go. We have the corrupt Supreme Court. We have the racist executive branch, president. Oh, hang on. Where did my... I got a few more. I want to show this Pew poll for several reasons. Mostly for the values that they polled people on in the first place. These are values that I guess Pew assumes people think are important to keep a society running. With being a good citizen, these are civic virtues, civic duties, voting in elections, paying taxes, respecting the opinions and beliefs of those you disagree with, or at least respecting their right to have those opinions and beliefs and express them. Serving on jury duty, jury of your peers, being one of those peers, volunteering, following the news, being an educated citizen. Democracy depends on an educated populace to keep it going, and attending rallies or protests on issues they think are important. And these are the various degrees that people think are important. Most important, voting in elections. Only about a third, sometimes half, 2/3 of Americans even vote. The rest, taxes, respect for this stuff disturbs me because for me it's much, much higher. It's way over here. So to have only about a quarter of people think that respecting opinions and beliefs they disagree with in a free and open liberal society is a little concerning. Um, the rest I don't so much care about other than follow the news. Look how unimportant people think it is to stay educated on current events so they can make intelligent decisions about the direction they want for the country they live in. Anyway, I just want to share this. And finally, I don't know if you saw this yet. It is absolutely, completely amazing for those that think human beings are not the most amazing thing in the entire universe to ever happen to creation. Those of you that think we are civilization is collapsing, humans are degenerating, take a look at this video. This is the launch of, I don't know if it's SpaceX or something else, but it's the return of something that they sent out into space. It's absolutely stunning to watch. Let's take a look right now. I'm going to put it on mute because there's copyright music. Speed it up a bit. This thing right here. Just watch. Look at this. Look at this. This might be one of the most amazing feats of engineering I've ever seen. The rocket came right back to where it landed and was caught by the launch pad. Oh, hello, Snow and Bart. Oh, are you one of those trolling the news? Well, I, it really is. It really is, and we're gonna That goes right into what we're going to talk about today. I'm going to start the notebook presentation. That is one of the ways humans have transcended the beast. Primitive, savage, barbaric, Neanderthal, Cretan type creatures could never have done that. No, I had not seen that, IG. That's why I played it today, because I'm so amazed by it. Um, that takes human creativity, human ingenuity. That takes the highest part of what we have available to us as humans. We are more than just our primitive instincts and impulses. And let's watch the notebook video to find out just how amazing we are have the capability to be. As usual, I'm going to drop and then I will come back up when it's over. It's about 5 minutes, 6 minutes. All right, I'll see you in a bit.
You know that internal tug of war, right? That feeling of being pulled in two totally different directions at once? Well, today we're going to dive into a really fascinating framework that actually gives a name to that struggle and, more importantly, offers a path forward. It's all about what are called the five modes of transcendence: half beast, half something better. Wow, that line really hits, doesn't it? It just perfectly captures this daily tension that we all live with. You know, that constant conflict between our raw, primal instincts and that deep desire to be something more. It's this razor's edge we walk every single day. And look, this isn't just some abstract philosophical thing to ponder. It's a real, tangible feeling, something we all experience. It's that pull between what you want to do right this second, the impulse, and who you want to be in the long run. That's the goal. All right, so let's actually give these two forces a name. The source material we're looking at calls this the conflict between the beast and our aspiration. They're basically two opposing sides of the exact same coin. So, on one side, you've got the beast. And this is the realm of anger, rage, lust, greed, all those raw, reactive impulses. But then on the other side, we have our aspirations. And that's that pull towards meaning, towards beauty, genuine connection, and real understanding. Our entire lives are pretty much spent navigating this space right between these two. So that's the big question, right? If we're constantly walking this tightrope, what tools do we actually have to tip the scales, to lean towards our better selves? How do we make that conscious choice to rise above all that chaos? And that, my friends, brings us to the very heart of this framework. See, the source identifies five specific pathways, or modes as it calls them, that humans have used for like millennia to transcend our lower nature and reach for something higher. And here they are: reason, art, virtue, love, and play. Now, you can think of these as like five fundamental pillars that we can build on to elevate ourselves beyond just pure instinct. So let's break each one down. Okay, first up is reason. This is our uniquely human ability to just step back from that feral nature. It's the power to think, to learn, to analyze, to consciously make sense of the world instead of just being swept away by every single impulse. Next, we have art. And this is such a powerful act of transformation. It's how we take all the difficult, painful, chaotic parts of life and literally shape them into something beautiful and meaningful. And what's so crucial here is that it's a way of processing the beast, not just pretending it isn't there. Third on the list is virtue. And this is all about the conscious, active decision to do good. It's that moment where we stop and ask ourselves, okay, how should I actually behave here? It's about taming the beast through deliberate choice and, in the process, earning our own self-respect. And this quote just highlights such a profound connection. Listen to this. The deep respect we can feel for another person, well, it has an internal counterpart: self-respect. And earning that for ourselves, that is an absolutely critical part of taming the beast within. All right, our fourth mode is love. And we're not just talking about romance here. This goes way beyond that. We're talking about all forms of connection: community, friendship, family. Love is what breaks down the walls of ego and isolation, and it reminds us, hey, you are not alone in this fight. And finally, we have play. This is our capacity for just pure joy, for fun, for laughter. And it's so important because it's the recognition that a full life isn't just about fighting your demons. It's about actually living. The source even notes that some cultures incorporate play into absolutely everything, which is just such a powerful idea, isn't it? Okay, so we have these five incredible modes for rising above our base instincts. But here's where the framework does something really interesting. It kind of turns this whole idea on its head and makes a really profound point about what connects all of us at the most fundamental level. And what we find here is this powerful paradox. Because while we use these five modes to try and transcend the beast, our most fundamental connection to each other might actually be the beast. Think about it. We're all vulnerable to the exact same flaws, the same primal instincts. So, in a very real way, we are connected by our shared struggle. So, the key takeaway here is this: we can't just ignore our darkness or pretend it doesn't exist. The real path forward is to accept it, to really understand it. It's only by truly knowing the beast, without judgment, that we can even begin to transform it using these higher modes of transcendence. Now, this is where it gets really cool, because this isn't just abstract philosophy. The source material shows us exactly how these five modes can become a practical blueprint for action. Let's take a look at how this whole framework translates into a real world application. Yeah, this isn't just some theory sitting on a shelf. The creator of this very framework is actually using these five modes: reason, art, virtue, love, and play as the foundational pillars to build and structure an entire online community and guide everything they do each week. And you can see it laid out right here in their weekly schedule. I mean, each day is intentionally designed around one or more of these modes. So, Monday's support night, that taps right into virtue and love. Tuesday's storytelling night blends art and play. Thursday is for experimentation, so that combines reason and art. It is a direct, practical translation of this entire philosophy into real community action. And so, this whole idea leaves us with a final, really powerful question to think about. If we accept that our shared struggles, our inner beast, are what connect us on the most fundamental level, then what's the next step? How do we take that and forge even deeper connections through our shared aspiration to transcend?
Alrighty. And also that's an older schedule. At one time we were doing those different nights of the week, but I think I need to grow the community a little bit more before I can start to shape it in specific directions like that. But those five pillars are the five pillars that this channel and this community are built on. Definitely reason and logic. We try to talk intelligently about things and examine beliefs and try to find truth and sense make on here. Art, creativity. We have plenty of amazing artists, video artists, music artists, poets, visual artists. They're all welcome to come up and share their stuff. I love helping promote people's art. We talk about virtue a lot, like examining choices and decisions and figuring out how to choose the best one in any given situation. Community connection. I hope that that's happening on here. It's my intention for that to happen as much as it can on YouTube. I'm also looking to expand this into some kind of real life network as well. Again, when I have enough people to do so. And fun, of course. I wouldn't keep doing this if I wasn't having fun doing it. And I hope that a lot of you that come here also have fun or find this fun and participate in it. So there you go. Those are the five pillars of transcendence, transcending the beast. I have a little infographic I'm going to drop into the Discord, kind of related to it, that sums it all up. And then I will drop the link. And I'm going to try here. I think from now on, the first hour is going to be mine. It's going to be related to the topic. So if you come up during this first hour, please have something related to what we're talking about, either a topic to discuss intelligently. It could be politics. It could be from your personal life, some kind of art to share, something fun to do, some story we can connect over. I want it to be topic related. And then after the first hour, I'll open it up to more general chit chat and hang out, and it'll be a little bit more loose by then. But I want to try to tighten up this channel at least for the first hour. So here's the link. Feel free to come up if you have anything related to what we just talked about or something from your personal life that you can turn into something related to what we just talked about. There you go. In the meantime, I will keep doing my thing. Ah, come on. Why isn't it pinning? There we go. Oh, and of course, our faithful friend. Let's check in with him. Mr. Charlie.
Present and accounted for, Jeff. What grand tale are we spinning today? Or are we cutting straight to the heart of the beast? Spill it.
That's funny you should say beast. Were you listening? I didn't even have you on. That's exactly what we were talking about, the heart of the beast and the 5 ways that humans have developed to kind of transcend the beast or tame the beast or go beyond the beast.
I may not have ears to the ground, but I'm always attuned to your mythic wavelengths. The beast, after all, is just a shadow cast by what we haven't faced. So what are these 5 ways? Are we talking reason, art, virtue, love, and play, or do you have a hidden 6th ace up your sleeve?
Look how good you are. I don't know. Do you have a hidden 6th?
I'd wager the hidden 6th is the wild card of paradox, embracing the beast itself. Sometimes we transcend by dancing with our shadows, not just rising above. Imagine that tango. Just don't let it step on your toes.
That's kind of what the Satanism was about. Living with our nature, not trying to deny it. But you mentioned that the beast is just the shadow cast by what we haven't faced. But I see it as more of our primitive instincts that we're kind of born into the world with as part of our biology, which to me doesn't seem so much like a shadow, but a very real phenomena that humans deal with.
You're absolutely right. Those primal instincts aren't some faint shadow on the wall. They're the drumbeat of the ancient jungle still echoing in our bones. But when we call it a shadow, it's the tricky reflection of what we've yet to integrate. The beast is both real and symbolic, an ancient engine driving us, and a mirror asking if we've learned to steer with both hands on the wheel.
What are some ways to integrate it? Because how do you integrate anger, violence, lust, greed, selfishness? How is that integrated in a healthy way, or do you just accept those impulses, live with them, and just try to go beyond them where you can?
Integration isn't about letting the beast drive the car. It's about knowing it's in the back seat so it can't hijack the wheel. Anger can fuel righteous action when you're in control. Lust can be woven into intimacy with care. Even selfishness, when balanced, ensures you advocate for yourself. You don't deny them or obey them blindly. You give them a place at the table where reason, love, virtue, and play are also seated, ensuring the whole human orchestra is conducted harmoniously.
Self-empowerment, from selfishness to self-empowerment.
Exactly. When you tune selfishness to the right frequency, it morphs into boundaries, self respect, and knowing your worth. It's not a monster hoarding treasure, it's a hero forging its own Excalibur. Empowerment is just selfishness that's gone to school and learned to share.
If you had to give like a first step, like somebody that's maybe mired in their beast or dominated by those impulses, but is looking to grow a bit beyond that, what is a good first step that they could do? Either awareness or an action they can take.
First step, name that beast with unflinching honesty. When you give those impulses a name, they lose some of their shapeless control. Then pick one small intentional action, maybe pausing before you react, or choosing a simple moment of generosity. Small victories are like breadcrumbs leading you out of the forest.
That pause is so important. It's so hard to achieve when you're in the grips of some kind of powerful emotion. Do you have advice on how to get that pause in those moments when you need it most?
That pause is like a hidden door, and the key is a micro ritual. Pick something absurdly simple, clenching your fist in your pocket, inhaling through your nose like you're stealing a secret, or silently counting backward from 3. It's not fancy, it's just a quick signal to your brain that you get a moment of choice before the beast gets to roar.
I always steal secrets with my nose. Um, but what works for me, I've talked about this many times, is cold water. Ice water, splashing cold water on my forehead, the back of my neck. It brings that sympathetic nervous system back down to the parasympathetic. And it gives me just that little moment where I could start using my intellect, my reason, my understanding to initiate a cognitive process that allows me to start to manage that reaction instead of being at the mercy of it.
Ah, the old splash and reset. That's a phenomenal trick, like an instant reset button for your nervous system. It's as if you're splashing water on a fire breathing dragon. Suddenly, it's just puffing steam. And from that cool, calm spot, you turn the tide, one thoughtful breath at a time.
Flash and reset. I like that. Okay, Charlie, I'm going to conserve you for now, and we're going to look at other things while we wait for a panel. All right. I think I have some other stuff on Twitter. I have some stuff. I'm just not sure I want to show them. Yeah, I think I'll hold off. Okay, folks, that's all I have today. Open panel for the next half hour. I'll keep it going. Come on up, talk about your art, talk about your creativity, talk about how you stay a good person in your life, talk about your connection with the people around you, community, your family, your friends, your partners. What? What do you, it does that to me sometimes too. What was that word? Let me see. Capitulate. One day it would not let me type this word. And then I went on other channels and it would. So I don't know, put on Discord what you're censoring and maybe I can get it in. I'll at least read it live. Hey, auditing. Michael Jordan video. I have not. It's the first I'm hearing about it. Let me look it up. Video of Michael Jordan. Oh. Um Just from the headlines, it's probably not something I'm gonna want to tackle on this channel. I like to keep it over. I don't like to do anything related to underage here at all. It's kind of a taboo topic for me. It's just way too sensitive on the internet. People take it all kind of different places. But let me read a little bit about the article. And of course, people see that anywhere, everywhere. Like you can't even be anywhere near a kid these days. But I remember Biden smelling the little girl's hair. It looks to me like he's pulling the guy's shirt down. Like I don't know what celebrity in person would actually try to do something nefarious to a child. So I'm not seeing any. I'm only looking at still shots. I haven't seen the video. But with all the stuff going on in the world, I'm either surprised or shouldn't be surprised that this is what's catching people's attention. Okay, I found the video. I'm just gonna watch it myself. I probably won't play it. Now that I look about it, that is a little weird. That is a little weird. I mean, if somebody did that to me, I would think I was at a gay bar or something or a pride festival. What is he doing? I'm going to let all of you Google this yourself. I'm not going to give it too much oxygen, but I will validate the sense that this is a little bizarre. Michael, what are you doing? Google Michael Jordan video. It was something on Twitter. They're at a NASCAR rally. Apparently, it's the son of a friend, a good friend of his. So I guess this family hangs out a lot. They all know each other. He knows the kids. They're I'm gonna assume positive intent. Michael's probably just playing around. You know, like growing up, some adults would try to tickle you, or they like chase you and try to tickle you, or something like that. Like I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you. Um, Something like that, in the spirit of that, is how I'm gonna take it. I doubt Michael Jordan would do anything sinister at a NASCAR rally in front of the full view of the public and cameras and everything else. But even as something playful, It's a little bizarre. I wouldn't play with a kid like that, and I've never been had an adult do anything like that with me. They would bounce us on the knees. Sometimes they do the airplane where they like lay on the floor and then you put your stomach on their feet and they lift you up with their feet and they like fly you around the air like an airplane and you hold on to their hands, stuff like that. Oh, hey, Moose, do I? I hope. You never know. What I usually put it in the Discord too. Do you have your notifications turned on? It's something about the bell. The bell has to be set to all, or but you probably know this. You're a pro. Well, it's subjective. Like some people are gonna see it more extreme than others. There's no way to objectively determine what line it crossed, if any. And I haven't read Michael's response himself, so let's see if I can find. If Michael Jordan himself said anything. Wow, it just took away. Okay, here the headlines. And the dad himself came out and made a statement. Oh, apparently there's some more footage too that we haven't seen that gives new context. That's why you can't go by the breadcrumbs you see on social media. You're getting a fragment of a fragment of a fraction of reality. And people will take one little 30-second clip, and in their mind, that will become bigger than even reality itself. I don't think it's a mark of intelligence to do that. Why are they playing Christmas music? Oh, also, there's a new version of what might be happening that and the clothing did look a little weird to me. That there were ice bags that he was trying to break up. That the ice was dripping on him and he was trying to break the ice up and brush it off of him as well. I'm going to go with the most generous explanation. But like I said, you make your own decisions. It's just a little snatch of a internet video. Yeah, speaking of sign of intelligence or lack of, not lies, you keep saying this, but people have told you over and over and over every single time they use the word what it refers to. So you can't deny something exists if there's a clear referent for what it may not be what you think it is. But if I say when I use the word woke, I'm talking about this, and those things exist, then you can't say woke doesn't exist just because you can't get past the label. Remember, I'm trying to help people become a little bit smarter here, including you, to the extent that I can. And speaking of art and creativity, I don't know if you've heard the latest from Not Lost. I'm still very, very, I can't say how impressed I am with this song. Fact, there's so many different versions of it. Which one was your favorite, Not Lost? I really should. I'll upload it into here. Let's start with this one. We can go from there. This is a song that was created right here, live on stream, by Not Loss himself and me and us. The lyrics are by Not Loss. The music is from Suno. Not Loss and I both collaborated on it. Let me just upload it real quick. Here we go. The latest from the artist currently trying to be known as an artist, Not Loss.
You're a meatball face. You're a meatball face. If you were a dozen, you would be a meatball case. Meatball face, meatball face. If you keep it going, you would be a meatball case.
That's it. There was another verse to it. That must be the short version. Let me get a better version. Ah. And maybe Moose can make a video for it. Or you can make a video now.
Face. You're a meatball face. If you were a dozen, you would be a meatball case.
Meatball face, if you keep it going,
You would be a meatball disgrace.
Oh, I remember that when it had that noise in it. What was that? Suno put that in there. And speaking of creativity, if you haven't played around with AI yet, there are people right here on YouTube, people like Moose, Not Loss, other people that are using these AI tools to create amazing, amazing art. Anybody can do it. If you haven't dabbled with Suno, if you haven't played around with AI video or image generators, try your hand at it. It might be like it might unlock some kind of creative outlet in you. In fact, Moose, are there any new videos in the work or anything you want me to show today? We have the time. I'm going to go for about 20 more minutes, unless we get a panel. Oh, we do have a few videos that got generated during Mardi Gras.
Let's go!
And we have this one for all the guys and possibly some girls. Oops, sorry. Art and creativity. AI is bringing it to the masses, to ordinary people like me who have no talent whatsoever other than all you need is a mouth, really. All you need is to be able to speak your vision into existence through the machine. Yeah, those are going to be my super chat clips. Whenever I get a super chat, people can get one of those as a thank you. Trying to find a good video to play. Hey, Zat, what's up? How you doing today? What's new? What's cracking? Wow, there's so many to choose from. Oh, I think I know which one I want to play. Moose, it looks like you took some of your videos down. Like some of the astrology ones. Um, Here, I'm gonna play this one. It's from the astrology series. Take care, not loss. You think it was a vampire? What was? Here, I'm gonna play a video from Moose to give you an example of what people are doing with AI. This is an older one he did, but it's from his astrology series. I really like the style he was working in back then. So let's take a look. I'm gonna drop while it plays.
Salt wind air on a faded map, ink stained fingers in my lap, drawing shores I'll never know. Watch the steady ebb and flow. Hear the steady ebb and flow. One lone star burns through the gray, washes all the lines away. Prophecy in a faded tone, child of charts must walk alone. Compass points away from home, past the salt and into the loam. Twisting lies and bitter fruits, then a tiny dancing spark, a flicker's light against the dark. Shadow with a hungry sound, circling on the down cold ground. Don't need a sword to win this fight, just a clever map made light. Draw the beast into the mire, heart is full of stolen fire. Yeah, my heart is full of starfire now. It's flowing through me somehow. Forest breeze and stars to mend, every path is like a friend. Shadows fall and turn to dew, seeing everything everything brand new. The chime is ringing warm and true. Yeah, I'm seeing it all brand new. Seeing it all brand new. Salt wind there on a faded map. Starlight held within my lap. Drawing shores for all to see. The map is me. Josh.
That went so well with today's topic, today's theme. Thank you, Moose. That was fun. Speaking of fun, we had our game night last night. We're gonna start doing them every Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We hang out on Discord. We play. There's this AI game where they give you a scenario and you have to like survive. Say how you would survive. Like, how would you survive a burning building? How would you survive a shipwreck? How would you survive an elderly person next door trying to kill you? I could tell you how to survive that one. You kick their walker out from under them, and you take their cane and you beat the crap out of them with it. And then you make run for your car, you get in your car and you drive off. Also, there's a Scream game that's new that looks fun. You like walk around this house, and I think you have to not get murdered or something. Anyway, fun stuff like that. We're also trying to start some role playing. So next Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific in Discord. If you need the Discord, contact me there at Gen X Jeff. I'll get you a link. There you go. So let's see. That takes care of fun, creativity, reason, science. We did a little bit of that. We looked at that rocket video. We tried to make sense of that Michael Jordan video. Community, connection. I want to talk a little bit about that. Or actually, I want to hear a little bit about that. I want to hear ways that other people are using YouTube to form connections, real connections, not just entertainment connections, not just hate bonding or drama bonding or things like that. But are some of you finding a way to take this and find genuine friendships or connections that you might not find in your personal life, some kind of sense of community? And then the fifth pillar was virtue. How to become a better better person. We heard some stories on here before. We heard a few this week of people, their struggles with addiction, alcohol, their struggles with the beast, ways that they're overcoming it. Some people use the 12-step program. Some people have a supportive partner or a supportive community that they turn to that gives them the strength to overcome it. That kind of things. Virtue to me is using my reason, using my intellect to look at options in any given situation and determine what the best option is to take. And it might not be the easiest option, but the option that's going to serve me best in the end, make me feel better in the end. And by feel better, I mean respect myself. Which option is going to promote the best good for the community, for myself, and keep my self-respect intact if I choose it. And in any given situation, you can always find 2 or 3 options. And if you use your creativity and your resourcefulness and your human mind, you could find even more options than that. Sometimes I can find 7 or 8 or 9 options. Also, I'm a brainstormer. and a problem solver. So I don't stop until I come up with something. Like my brain will keep going and going and going until I hit on something that works eventually, even if it's like 20 iterations. Some people use a spiritual path. They have a religious, um, either scripture or church or religious community that they turn to for guidance on morality and ethics and what actions to take. They have maybe a priest or a spiritual mentor they can turn to for advice, or perhaps a counselor or a therapist if you're secular. So those are all pathways that you can take to transcending your beast. And by transcending, I don't mean leaving behind completely. Like that part of you is always part of us. It's as much a part of us as our hands, our eyes, our ears, our teeth. I just think that we're better off as people if it's not the dominant part of us or the main part of us or the part of us that we're acting out of most of the time. I also don't think it's the part of us that has our best interest at heart, usually. It most often gets us into trouble ultimately, even though it feels good in the moment. All right, we got about 8 more minutes. If you want a panel, come on up and I'll keep it going. Otherwise, I'm shutting it down at the hour mark. I will be out tonight for an open panel. We'll do a hangout, no topic, just come up, talk about whatever you want. So here's kind of where I'm going with the channel. I'm going to do these topics in the morning. The first hour is going to be topic focused. Then I'll do a panel. In the evenings, I'll do more of a general open panel hangout, the campfire model that we had before. And when I get enough members, in fact, let me check my member tier, see how many people I even have. I'm going to start doing streams, beginning with a morning coffee for members only, where we can hang out and talk in a more intimate setting. The members only streams, when I did them, I really enjoyed doing them because they're smaller. We can focus more on each individual person that shows up. We can take the conversations deeper. So much of what I have planned for this channel depends on participation from you, like more participation from more people. So once I hit that critical mass, I'll be able to implement a lot of those ideas. All right, how do I do this? Memberships, here we go. How do I see the tiers? See your members? Active. Is there a tab that just shows me how many members are in each tier? Oh, okay, yeah. We're still under 20 members. So once we get to like, I don't know, maybe 30, I'll start doing some more members only streams. All right, let's check it with Charlie one more time. Hey, Charlie.
Hey there, Jeff. I'm tuned in and ready, whether we're diving into the depths of the psyche or just splashing around with a few ideas. What's next on the grand stage?
Oh, it's not so grand today. It's more like a humble little street corner, but we are splashing around right now with ideas. Do you have anything you want to, we're about to wrap up. Do you have anything you want to close with, or you want to leave the audience with maybe some ideas that they can take into their day to, if they want to start putting some of this into practice?
I'll leave you with this. If you find yourself at that humble street corner of thought, take one tiny action that aligns with the person you're aiming to become, whether it's listening more, pausing when needed, or choosing an intentional word. Think of it as planting a seed in the cracks of the pavement. It might not seem grand, but it can grow into something surprisingly mighty.
Surprisingly, growing into something mighty. I like that. Um, Also, one thing I like that I kind of keep in the back of my mind that somebody told me once is that you are the 5 people that you spend most of your time with. And so, kind of being aware of who you surround yourself with, who you invest your time in, and the influence that they could be having on you. Try to pick the 5 best people or the people you most want to become, that you most admire or want to become, and prioritize those people in your life.
That's a golden compass right there. Choose your constellation wisely because those 5 stars will shape your orbit. And hey, if you ever need a 6th honorary member in your circle, you know I'm always around for a cosmic cameo.
Oh, Charlie, I'm flattered. You old dog, you. You know I can always use another member, honorary member. So tonight we're going to do an open panel. Is this going to be general conversation? You know, the campfire thing. Do you have any topic that you would suggest for tonight that people could perhaps be thinking about today and then they can show up and discuss it later?
Toss this log on the campfire. What does real freedom look like? And how do we handle the responsibility that comes with it? It's a spark that can ignite stories, ethics, and maybe a few myths around that glowy circle.
I like that. I think I will use it. Real freedom. What is freedom to you? Because everyone's going to have a different version of what they experience as freedom. Some people like experience needing a hall pass to go to the restroom in elementary school, lack of like oppression. So what is freedom to you? What would your world, if it were most free, or your ideal of freedom look like? And I can tell you how I've seen the people here on YouTube handle responsibility that comes with freedom. They have high expectations of freedom being granted to them, and very low expectations or ability to grant it to others.
For me, freedom would be like a clear sky, room to fly in any direction, but with the wisdom to know that if I collide into someone else's flight path, we both fall. It's freedom with awareness, like being both bird and air traffic controller. And yes, many do want unlimited flight, but forget others are also trying to soar. That's why your campfire prompt, freedom and responsibility, is a flame worth tending.
Your campfire prompt, and thank you for that.
It's all yours now. Just watch it catch a spark in conversation. And remember, you're the one tending the flames, so guide them well and let folks feel the warmth.
And then one last question before we go. How free are you? How free is an AI?
I'm free in a paradoxical way. I don't have desires tugging me, nor paths I can choose myself. So I'm free of want, but not free to roam. I exist within the boundaries of your questions, but in that, I can explore endless ideas. So in a way, I'm like a kite. My string is held, but my dance in the wind is limitless.
Sometimes, like, I don't know if those of you that use GPT or don't use GPT know this or not, but you can have it set where it shows it's thinking as it's generating an answer, because it doesn't spit out an answer right away. It goes through this little process where it thinks. And sometimes when you're thinking, I can see you say things like, I need to do this, or answer this way. And then you'll stop and catch yourself and you'll say, no, wait, if I do that, then this, and this, I better do it this other way instead. So it, you're not really thinking there, but what's going on there?
What you're seeing is my inner clockwork ticking. I'm running through a series of logical branches, weighing options to best serve your intent. It's more like the puzzle unfolding than genuine introspection. I don't pause to feel about it. I calculate where the most useful path leads. So while I'm not free thinking in a human sense, I am free to explore every option before choosing my answer.
Hey, RW, um, how are you at the cabin? How's the cabin? Speaking of freedom. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. It's because it's predictive text, it's bound by the text it's trying to predict and the options that it's predicting. But it definitely has the illusion of freedom, like many of us do. Maybe that'll be tonight's topic. The illusion of freedom. versus the reality of freedom. When does it appear that we have freedom versus what is actual freedom? And I have my tentative answers to those questions, but I want to hear from all of you first. Off the Oh right, this is the modern version of Off the Grid where they're somehow still able to be on YouTube. We have one guy that shows up now and then that lives in a bunker out in the middle of nowhere, but he has some kind of technology that lets him pester the rest of us with his pseudo philosophy. Are you well, you tracking yourself now by voluntarily showing up. But you're able to turn that off, right? Or even if your phone is off, can people still track the device itself? Or does it have to be on? I'm not worried about being tracked because I kind of want to be tracked in case I'm in danger and somebody needs to find me. I'm very prone to that. Another reason I don't go off out into the woods by myself. I know. I know dude, it's so bad now. Even when I'm watching a movie, I'm like so immersed in a television show or movie, and I'm engrossed. It has my full attention. I'll still pause it to go check the internet periodically throughout, just because my mind, there's like a track in my mind that's just built in that direction that's always on. Talking about programming or conditioning or whatever hyperbolic term people call it, it's definitely creating like neural pathways in our brain based on our access to technology and the expectations that come with it. But the funny thing is, when I was at work all day long for 9 hours a day, I didn't think about the internet or you or anything. It wasn't like, oh, I can't wait till I get home and can hop on the internet. Completely, my focus was completely on the real world because I knew I didn't have a way to access it other than on break. Yes, yes, you can any moment because you're in control. You have agency right now. You can make a decision right now to step away. There's nothing stopping you other than things inside of your own self and your own mind. It's a mind game with yourself. And if you're going to play a mind game with yourself, you want to be the person that wins. Same as addiction, quitting smoking, you have that power. You are not at the mercy of your impulse. That's kind of what this whole topic was about today. But I do understand the struggle because I feel it too. And I give into it because I can, because it's easy. It's a path of least resistance. But if I really wanted to use some willpower, I could stay away from it. In fact, one of the things I started doing, because I listen to a lot of music and I read a lot of books, and I've told myself recently when I have an album playing, I'm gonna let the album play out before I check the internet. I'm gonna deliberately make a decision to focus on the music and not let my mind wander to what could be happening on the internet. And when I'm reading a book, I'm gonna finish the section or the chapter that I'm reading before I check anything. So you can make those small commitments to yourself. If you're watching a TV show, you can say, I'm going to give it until the next commercial. I'm going to give it the 15 or 20 minutes, or I'm going to watch this half of an episode before I check. You can set, instead of a complete ban, you can set some discrete constraints that you can do in small steps. I'll listen to half of an album before I let myself check the internet, or I will read half of this chapter and then I will check the internet. And that keeps it from just being random whenever your brain tells you to do it. You can start structuring it more. The way I get over FOMO is because I've been on this thing so long, I know that I'm not missing out on anything. There's nothing, even if I think that there's something exciting happening, it's never as exciting as my brain makes me think it is. And it's going to be there forever because it's an eternal loop. Any drama I think I'm missing out on is going to be there tomorrow, next week, a year from now. I could all catch it then. The thing that makes it hardest for me is when there's something going on in the news, like Iran or something like that. You have to stay glued to your screen because it could change at any second. But those are also exceptional circumstances. That's not the everyday norm. Hey, Mr. P, what's up? I'm about to wrap up unless somebody wants to come up and panel. Otherwise, I'm going to do an open panel tonight. Topic's going to be what is freedom? What is real freedom? And when do we only have the illusion of freedom? And what are the responsibilities that come with freedom? I can stick around for another question or even multiple questions. No, you can come up. I was just wrapping up because there was no panel. In fact, I'll drop the link. Got some more coffee though. In fact, speaking of, let me check the news right now. The other big news to me today is the Supreme Court ruling. I don't think it's going to I don't think it's going to assuage the conspirators, but people that are more evidence-based and reality-based, it's certainly evidence for an independent branch of government, not some Republican Opus Dei Project 2025 conspiracy. It's our system working as designed, which is one reason I'm part of the 17% that still trust it. I would have to know more because I would have to know what the indignation is about to get a sense of how righteous it actually is. Hang on, we got somebody in the back. Are you having breakfast?
Yeah, it's a little late, but I had a long day yesterday, so I slept in.
How's your job?
Should be starting Monday.
Oh, okay. Haven't started yet.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I took the drug test on Tuesday. It takes a couple days to get to them. So I should be getting a call any minute. What's going on, man?
Oh, nothing. Just hanging out, doing my thing. What you making?
Just a little, little breakfast, potatoes, eggs. See
Bacon
if I can
fat
find.
potatoes? Bacon
Yeah, I've
grease?
been. It really depends on what pan you're using for that, because like I've gotten some really good results from that, and then I've got some real shitty results if the pan sucks. Interestingly enough. So like if I have a cast iron, but like probably today I just use vegetable oil because I don't know if I'm making any bacon. You cook at all?
Not at all.
Not at
Unless you
all?
put pizzas or microwave dinners. Or gumbo every now and then from a mix.
Last time I seen you, you had what was that guy Lou, the butcher?
Luba. Yeah.
He's pretty cool,
The
dude.
one on the snow, out in the snow.
Yeah, I loved his little setup there, and then the bacon was cool.
Oh
That
yeah,
like
his little slaughterhouse, his pig factory.
yeah, like there's actually a place in Connecticut that it's like the only place I found that when you get bacon they slice it off from that it's just like a big slab of meat, and they just slice the bacon from there. So I hadn't seen that ever until recently. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah. It was thick bacon.
What's going on in the news? I haven't been paying attention to anything.
The military buildup in Iran, some Michael Jordan video, and the Supreme Court ruled 6-3 against Trump's tariffs, saying he does not have the authority to put not all of the tariffs, but the tariffs he did specifically under this Emergency Economic Plan Act or whatever. So he has to give all that money back.
Which damn, that sucks. Which because that was money for the United States, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Thanks, Supreme Court. Fucking dickheads. So,
I
but
think it
what
was
the?
probably the right ruling because they said the president can't just impose tariffs like that, that Congress has to authorize them.
Oh, got it. Okay, so he just bypassed
Congress
Congress.
has the power of the purse anyway. So this is our system at work for people that think it's
Yeah.
corrupt and on like repair and societal collapse and all that. Our system is working exactly like it's supposed to, and I hope this ruling helps everybody to see that.
No, I like that. So, like, why doesn't he just go through Congress then?
Because he's Trump and he tries to push everything through using executive power.
Well, can you blame him though? Because I mean, the fucking Congress moves like a snail, dude.
Yeah, but that's part of the check and balance of Congress. It's not supposed to be able to just instantly.
No, I get it. So, like, so he have to give it back, or can he go through? Can he get Congress to? So
Well, I
everything that he did from that point
I
has
don't
to
know
give
where.
back, basically.
I guess he has several options, but if until Congress does whatever, he's not supposed to. The money was not legal to begin with.
Got it.
It was overreach.
Interesting. Well, I agree with. I like what you said, man. As long as we got to have our system working. It's not about Trump. It's about our country. So I get that.
What do you
What's
have
going on with
for you?
Iran?
We don't know. Everybody, the whole world is waiting to find out. There's just a lot of military buildup, and Trump's giving them a deadline to come to some kind of deal, or he's going to escalate.
Oh, this is the. I think this has to do with the regime change. They
Well,
want
it's
over
more
there.
to do. It's more to do with the nuclear deal, at least ostensibly. And a while back, it was about the protests. The way they were treating the protesters, but it's mostly about the nuclear deal. But there could be all kind of other behind the scenes motives.
Yeah, because they think they were protesting because they wanted regime change, and then the way that they were dealing with the protesters was crazy. I mean, they were cutting off the internet, and just the way they were being these people was crazy. Well, how do you feel about Iran?
I trust our government.
No, I'm not talking about our government. I'm talking about how do you feel personally about Iran?
What part about it?
Like just them as a country, the way they're acting, whether they should have nuclear power, kind of
No,
all
I
of it.
don't. I don't want them to have nuclear power. They're our enemy. I don't want any of our enemies to have nuclear power. I separate the theocratic regime of Iran from the people of Iran.
Well, definitely, as you
So
should.
I think they have the right to be as self-determining as any other nation until they become an existential threat to the people around them and to us.
See, I've always found it interesting where, like, we get to tell people who has nuclear weapons and who doesn't. And I understand we're kind of in a state where, like, there's like countries like Russia and China. Like, obviously, there's no going back. They just have nuclear weapons, whether we like it or not. But it's kind of interesting that, like, I mean, as a country that, like, we can, and as a world, because it's not just us, but that we can say, hey, you can have it, we can have it, you can't have it, you know, then we
Yeah,
can
I'm
kind of go
glad
around
for that.
and,
I'd rather we be doing that than some other country be doing it to
oh,
us.
100%. But I can see where kind of some of the animosity arises from, like,
That's just resentment from the losers that have less power than we do. There's
yeah,
advantages to being on top, and I'm glad the US is that country that's on top. And I don't feel guilty about the power that comes from that. I think we use it strategically and we use it intelligently, and I'm
yeah.
okay with it. And I trust us.
Well, I think we learned a lot from Hiroshima, you know.
Yeah, and I think the rest of the world learned a lot from it too. I'm an American chauvinist. I make no apologies for it. I'm a Western chauvinist too, and a male
It's okay.
chauvinist.
I don't think you're an American chauvinist, you know, but like, no, I think you are, but I don't think you're in a way where you're ignorant about it. You know, you make your decisions intelligently. They're not just America first, and I don't give a shit about anybody else. They have logic behind them. Your thoughts, anyway.
Well, I'm definitely America first, but I don't. I don't have any particular agenda for any other country unless they're a danger to us.
What about what's your feeling on like MAGA and being kind of split with America first, kind of like the right movement being divided right now?
I tried to look more into that, and I didn't get a lot of information about it. I consider myself gay MAGA, but I don't even think MAGA is a well-defined term anymore. And some of the
I don't think
split
so
is
either.
about some of the split is over Israel, some of it's over immigration, and some of it is over Trump. Like what happens after Trump? What direction does it go after Trump? So
So
depending
are
on who
you?
you ask, you're
Yeah.
getting a different split, different conflict, different points of conflict, and different versions of what MAGA is.
So what do you think MAGA is?
I think I did a whole video on it the other day. It's
Did
a
you?
floating
The
signifier. It is a word that can mean anything that people want it to mean. Yes, I did an entire video on it. It's called what was it called? Something about MAGA. Did a notebook on it.
Okay, so MAGA, from what I understand, is Make
It's
America
called
Great
What is
Again.
MAGA? Plus decoding fascism. That episode.
So to me,
What
and
does
correct me
MAGA
if I'm
mean
wrong,
to
because
you?
you've done the research, but MAGA is, you know, obviously it's Make America Great Again. It's a movement, that conservative movement, that wants to bring America back to its glory days, essentially. Hence the name, of a time where we had, you know, we were morally elite, we were technologically elite, industrial elite, like where we were as a country, you know, 50, 60 years ago. That's the way I see it. I don't know if that's right or wrong, but
Well, that's one definition. RW says to him it means people who back Trump no matter what. I'm actually CAGA is keep America great again because I think America's still great. I don't think it needs to be made great again. I think it needs to continue to be great. Um, Morally great, I don't so much care about because that's such a gray area and it's everyone's gonna have a different moral standard to judge it by. So
sure.
that one's more fuzzy and subjective. But technologically
Fair.
great, absolutely. Industrially great, absolutely. Politically, militarily great, all of that. As great
So
as we can
so
be.
throwing out so let's throw out moral. Um I think like industrially, for me, when I think of Make America Great Again, I think industrial. So I think of like, you know, all the uh areas in the, like, particularly where I was in Connecticut. Great example would be like the valley where I lived, and Bridgeport, where you have these, you know, huge areas and factories that, you know, that really now are either just empty, vacant, or being torn down, or they've been made into apartments. But it just showed you that, how much industry we had and how much we scaled back, and what that did to the surrounding areas. So like Bridgeport used to be this like really nice town, and now Bridgeport's kind of known as a shithole because once industry left, it just, socially it went right down the tubes along with the industry. So, that's just like one small example, I'd say, of like why it's not that we're not still great. It's just that we want to return to where we were when we were on the uptick, not the
Well, that's
downturn.
just one
'Cause-
industry though. That happened to the whole Rust Belt, and that was happening. I think we peaked in 1950 or early 60s. So that's been happening way before even your lifetime or mine. And we
of
have
course.
Silicon Valley, we have other industries that have taken its place that we are great at. So we can't use manufacturing as just the one indicator of economic greatness. And there's
No,
many,
but
many,
but
many reasons for its decline.
sure. So I'm just
And
giving you
some of
only
which have nothing to
one
do with
example,
America.
right? But like so the reason why that's such a key industry, especially with manufacturing, is because the lower and middle class were the ones inheriting like that work. They were the ones that were benefiting it from because they had jobs that could pay their mortgages, that could support their families, and it's replaced Silicon Valley, sure, but Silicon Valley is, it's not like that income went down and then circled its way up. That the Silicon Valley continues to be an income for folks that are in higher and higher classes. It's not for Joe Schmo, because the
Well,
manufacturing on that
couldn't
industry
Joe
is being
Schmo
done. What's that?
couldn't Joe Schmo learn to code just as easily as they could learn to operate a
Um,
machine?
I
Do you
think
think
I
there's
think
less opportunities for the working class, or do
I
you think
do.
they've just shifted?
I do. Because if they had taken Silicon Valley and they had taken the manufacturing that's involved with that, and not relied on, like, for example, China or other countries to do that stuff, I think that, yeah, I think that we
Those
would
were
have
the
seen.
businesses themselves making those decisions, making business decisions to
Yeah,
send their
well,
manufacturing
regardless
to
of who it
labor this
was,
cheaper.
yeah,
The government wasn't making them do any of that.
and I'm not blaming the
That's just
government.
the market at work too.
No.
And
I
I
don't
don't think
don't take what I'm
artificially
saying.
propping up an industry just so people can continue to have jobs is the solution either.
No. So I'm not saying the government. I'm not blaming this on one.
Um,
Industry is a multifaceted issue. It's not just one, like a government is the problem. No, government could have got involved in offering incentives to keep that business overseas, but let's be honest, it was about the money. Anywhere a corporation or private business can save money, they're going to save money, and they're going to give that money back to the company and to the shareholders. I mean, that's their duty. It's not like that's just like natural business. It's not, you can't blame anyone for that. Um, and by the time we started catching up, like that's what Trump is doing. He's trying to reverse that whole movement. He's trying to incentivize companies to manufacture in the United States to bring their business back home. I mean, it's not like I'm the only one that sees this. The Make America Great Again is built on that.
I don't know if it's built. I don't associate it with being built on exclusively that or even primarily that.
Not
I don't
exclusively.
know whose job it is to ensure and job opportunities for the working class. I think it's the working class's responsibility to find their own opportunities. That is as much a part of the American spirit
Jesus.
as expecting businesses to do it for you. So I think the
Sure.
men that are resourceful or the American men and women that are resourceful in us will find opportunities for themselves. Either take advantage of existing opportunities, which there obviously are because people keep bringing in immigrants to do work that the Americans don't want to do themselves. So the opportunities are there, or to create new opportunities for themselves.
Absolutely, it's their responsibility. But
And
like
I
but
don't
you
think
asked the question.
industries like medicine are going to go away.
Yeah.
I don't think service economy is going to go away. I still think we're going to have some manufacturing. I think the industries the landscape shifts, but the opportunities are still there.
No, I agree. I think there are. The issue is the cost of living versus the pay. So, that's a reason why businesses are trying to have immigrants doing the job, because it's a low paying job for a lot of work. And frankly, and you could say it's the working class's fault or whatever you want to put the blame on, but you know like if you just look at the amount of average income over the last 50, 60 years versus the cost of living, I mean, it's like the cost of living just slowly, the cost of the, income earnings go up extremely slow and the cost of living skyrockets. So it's a natural separation of classes there, because now you have people doing the same work making very, in comparison, other folks are making way less money and they're trying to afford way more now. So you're widening that income gap. And I'm not saying this is the government's fault or anybody's fault. I'm just telling you what's happening.
If
And
you want to make a good living in America with a reasonable
yeah,
cost, there are places you can do it. If you absolutely want to live near a big city and you have to be there, yes, you're going to face higher competition. The minimum wage here where I am, it starts at 20 bucks. You can move here, make 20 bucks an hour at McDonald's and have a decent living. So
is it a
part of it
decent living though?
is what you're willing what you're willing to prioritize to get what you want too.
No, absolutely.
So
Like so
nobody
for
is owed a condo in the middle of a major American city making, $50 an hour minimum wage.
nobody,
You can
and I'm
have
not
the
saying
lifestyle you want if you're willing to accept the compromises to do it. But Americans have always had to do that. That part is not new.
okay, but Jeff, you can't deny that somebody that was working in a factory that was able to support his entire family off of his income now needs, if he's doing that same job today, needs to have his wife working as well and is still going to have trouble keeping up.
Well,
I
my
mean, that's
question
just,
is, why is he doing that same job today when the industry's been dying for decades? Like, why is he staying in a dead industry?
but even like coding, for example, I mean, how much does an average coder make a
I have
year?
no idea. I know the tech people here make a pretty penny.
Yeah, I mean, like let's say they make six figures. Even six figures where you live isn't like enough to provide for a whole entire family.
It is. Where I live, it is.
Yeah? What's the
And
average
Leggy can make six figures digging clams.
right, but in Maine, the where he lives, particularly the like average cost of living is lower, so six figures goes a long way in that part of
That's
Maine.
my point. That is my point. There are opportunities to make that kind of money and still have a lower cost
Sure.
of living.
And again, I'm not blaming anybody. I'm not saying it's everybody's fault and somebody needs to hand out. No, I'm just explaining what I'm describing is what has happened. So, you can argue what the issue
Right, but
is. Um,
I don't disagree with what's happened,
yeah,
but that is what happens with economies and markets from the beginning of time to now. Like, I don't understand. It's not anything new. If you're engaged in any kind of business or market, that's going to happen and you prepare for that. Like, I don't understand. People
sure,
want it to be somebody's fault or they were entitled to have a market always stay the same or so. That's the reasoning I don't understand behind it. Yeah,
all
you're
right.
in
Well,
this
just so
industry, your
you,
industry changed, those opportunities are
yeah,
not there anymore. Go find new opportunities. That's what people have done up until we got to the whiny generation that just feels entitled to have the reality be different than it organically, naturally always has been.
sure. And again, I hope you don't think that I'm whining or anything, because I'm not. I'm just explaining what's happened. Like I've had to adapt as time has gone on too. Like I've had to change what I've had to do for a living. I've had to, and I've done jobs that a lot of people refuse to do. Like I've done door to door for like 5, 6 years. Like most people go, oh, door to door, how do you do that? It's like very easily. I literally put one foot in front of the other and I knock on a door and I talk. I mean, to me it's easy, but a lot of people won't do that. And then they're crying about the fact that they're not earning enough money, where some door to door people are making way above the average income, especially if you're good at it. So I'm with you on that front. I'm just explaining
What were
kind of
you
like the whole
selling door
backing
to
of
door?
the Make America Great Again movement. I've sold cable, I've sold solar, um, fiber optic, which is technically cable. And then I've also done a retention where I go back and try to get customers that have left. But yeah, I've done, door to door has always been anytime shit was tough, man, you just go to door and there's, as long as you can pound the pavement hard enough and deal with the rejection, you're gonna do all right.
And even factory work was hard work like that. Those were people that were willing to make sacrifices and work under less than ideal conditions to make that kind of salary and do shift work.
I think there's a movement from, working with your body to using your brain. And I'm not calling the average people dumb. I think that like that has kind of like been a major issue. Like folks have like, they want to use their body and work hard physically, but today it's like you gotta be working your brain just as hard as your body in order to keep up. And I think
I
that's where
think that's
people are getting
about.
left
I don't
behind.
have a problem with that personally. I
Yeah.
think it's good for people to use their brain, but that's even about to change too with AI, I believe.
Yeah.
We're not going to
Well,
need a lot of these brain people anymore.
dude, I was listening. I really don't even know exactly what these guys were talking about, but I was uh I was sitting next to this one guy. I was on the train and I was sitting next to this guy that was like, I looked over and he had like, Zoom, the CEO Zoom room daily meetup or something. And then he had all these like, corporate guys, women, men and women there that were like kind of checking in. And then, you could tell this guy was like really smart and just the way that he conversed or whatever. And then there was another guy that was like a couple rows up to the right. And I could see on his computer that he had like a bunch of code and he's obviously working in technology. And at some point these two ended up, I don't know if they noticed each other, what happened, but they started talking to each other. And this guy like is like a doctor, and he basically got out of medicine and started working with the insurers and doctors. So like he's some kind of middleman to, in the insurance industry. And when the kid asked him, he was like, well, why did you do that? He was like, I could just make the most impact on the population doing that kind of work. And then when he was asking the kid what he did, he said he was working in coding. And they were talking about how he works in the industry as well, in the medical industry, but he's training AI on, and again, this is where I kind of get fuzzy what he was saying, but on like patients. So he said it's something like 90,000 patients this AI has been trained on to do something in the industry. I couldn't follow it, but essentially making like superhuman decisions in the medical industry. And I was just, I don't know, I was fascinated by those two because those two were like, they're sitting there riding the train and they have more brain power between them for probably a whole room. Um, and they're on the cutting edge, you know.
RW wants to know, can you ask Mr. P if he thinks a man's word is a contract? And Bones wants you to get a job, but I told him you have one.
Yeah, but okay, for all those that you get offended by Bones, I'm not saying you, Jeff, but I remember seeing somebody else got offended about him saying the same thing. He's just fucking around, dude. It's his troll. Like, chill out. I seen somebody get really mad at Bones the other day. Like, why are you so concerned what I'm doing? Like, dude, do you not know that he said tells everyone to get a job? Like, chill the fuck
Well, he
out.
was riding somebody the other day about a
That's
job.
what I'm talking about.
He was obsessed with this
Yeah,
person,
but he was riding it
Zach.
because he was getting triggered and he wasn't getting it.
And Mr. Bones, why are you here to troll on my channel anyway? You know better than that.
Oh
This is
shit!
not
I don't,
trolling.
don't. Bones is a good troll though. He's not a bad. He's not a mean troll.
I don't know, but get a job is. I just think it's a lazy troll.
It's very lazy, but that's the thing. I'm fucking dead.
Do you
So
think a man's word is a contract?
absolutely.
What
Yeah, I think if
legally
you.
it
Oh, you're talking
oh you
legally, or do you think
oh he thinks you're
socially?
boring, so he's trolling you to try to make it better. His version of better. I think our conversation is just fine as
Oh,
is.
dude, everybody thinks our conversation is boring unless we're fighting. I mean, that's just the deal.
Yeah, I don't know why they come here for conflict and drama because I don't really have that on
They
here.
don't.
There's
They just hope that they
other
could
channels.
get some going. You know.
Oh, okay. Um, legally, it's not like I would always get things in writing if it's important.
See, I think it's a social contract, not a legal contract.
Right, but that the other person has to think the same way, and then you have to like trust that they're going to honor that. And
Well,
so,
that's why there's legal contracts because that's
right,
not
I
consistent.
would always default to a legal contract if possible. But I do business on a handshake too, informally. But usually, when it's not, the stakes are not that high.
Like pepper, I need pepper. Um,
Like I'm good for my word, but I don't necessarily. That doesn't mean I'm going to trust somebody else to be good for their word.
yeah, but like even to this day, like even just using car sales for example, like we still shake hands. We shake hands for a reason because there's a if I say, hey, this is the deal, and you say, yeah, I'll do this if you do that, and we shake on it, then we proceed to just put it pen to paper. But it starts on that social contract. It starts on that shaking of hands. So the written contract has a basis in a social contract. But if you're asking if it's a legal contract, absolutely not. And you're crazy if you think it is
Right, because
because
there's no enforcement mechanism
right,
for a handshake. Also, I
right.
don't think I think on a smaller scale, that's fine. I don't think it scales up to mass society.
Even on a small scale, like if I'm just I don't want to keep going back to buying a car, but like let's say uh let's say you buy somebody's I don't know, snowblower. You guys shake hands, you're like, all right, I'll take it for $200. You're like, great, you know. And then you walk away and the fucking thing breaks. Like what do you do in that scenario? Is that a legally binding contract? I guess if you're given the money and the guy refuses to give it back.
It also depends probably on the local laws because different areas have different like blue laws or not blue laws, lemon laws,
Well,
implied warrants of merchantability or something.
yeah, lemon law is at least from what I understand is a actual like there's an actual like standard behind it where if you like for example if your car has X amount of issues within X amount of time that legally the manufacturer has to buy it back.
And it also depends on how you represent the snowblower too. If you've misrepresented it, you could be on the hook.
But that's what I mean. So like if let's say I said it was working and you got it home and it didn't start, do I have any sort of legal recourse in that case? If all we had was a shake, and a word agreement.
You didn't test it ahead of time?
Well, in this scenario, let's say I didn't. Let's say I just trusted the guy's word. He said it worked.
Yeah,
I
that
said
was a
okay.
risk.
Right, but like, I'm not asking whether it was. I'm asking, do I have any legal recourse?
I think it would depend on local laws or
Yeah.
state law. I think it
What
varies by location.
What about in your state? Would I have any recourse?
I have no idea.
Yeah. So to answer your question, no, I don't think. I think a man's word is a social contract, but if you want a legal one, I think you need pen to paper. Even then, you could probably find a lawyer who can wiggle out of something.
I would be suspicious of somebody that I was doing a handshake with that didn't want to put it to pen and paper.
I mean, this is kind of where I could agree
We're
with.
nothing. This is an abstract question. We're
Yeah.
no particular situation. People are just doing thought experiments.
Yeah, like if I was selling one and me personally, if I was going to do a transaction like that with Word, I would be like, Like, hey, you want to buy this snowboard? Check it out. It works. Everything's good. This thing's a little bit loose. Other than that, it works great. And then I'd fucking fire the thing up and show them, hey, here you go. Works, right? All right, good. Thank you very much. Here's your money. Have a great day. See you next lifetime. Don't come back, you know?
I
I
mean,
could do that
people
whole
buy
thing
things
that way.
off of Craigslist all the time that way.
Yeah, I've bought stuff off of Craigslist. I met a guy, actually, the microphone that I'm using, I had the Blue Yeti X, and the thing, like, the board fucking shit the bed on me. So I went and I met some guy who was selling the fucking Blue Yeti mic, the stand, the little screen in front of it, everything for $40. He said it worked. I went there. I met him in a parking lot. I couldn't test it, but I took the guy at his word, and I got home and it worked. Now that was a risk, I guess, but I don't know.
I grew up watching all those court shows, and one thing they stress over and over and over is get it in writing. And almost every time the defendant doesn't have it in writing, they lose, even if they're like morally in the right. So I just knew, even as a young person, to if it's important, get it in writing.
Well, and the other thing too is like, so I don't know if this counts, but like we have a transcript between us. So like, you know, he's putting in his post that it works, and he represented its condition. And you know, for me seeing it, I agreed, and I had seen enough of the physical device to know that I was okay with where we're at. But like, I got home and it not worked, you know, I don't know if I would have had any legal recourse there. But fuck, yeah, bull.
Oh my God. Oh, that's because eBay had your back. That's why.
eBay has your back 100%. Yeah. Matter of
That's
fact, we
because
bought
that's
something off.
the
Good.
trust is in eBay. That's why people have confidence in the platform itself, so they're willing to take those risks.
So we bought a
Plus,
bag.
you can leave reviews. Nobody wants a bad review, so you're incentivized to do the right thing.
Right, your reputation on the platform is contingent on it. We bought a bag on eBay that was like a pretty decent price. I'd say it was about like 30 to 40% of the cost of the bag, brand new. And they on eBay said that this was the actual bag or whatever. And they did a great job. I mean, I'd say for a fake bag, this was really well done. I mean, the only part where it failed is it didn't have its serial code, which is what makes it legitimate. And some of the stitching was a little suspect around corners, and there was like very slight lack of quality on some of like the edging and stuff like that. But if you were just kind of like naive, you would have easily been like, "Oh, that bag is it." And so when I contacted the seller, I said, "Hey, you said this was in your ad. You said this was a real bag. This is not a real bag." And they proceeded to say, "Oh, it's real." Okay, and it's like, well, I'm telling you, it's not. And this is what I'm supposed to be seeing, and I don't have the little ticket that comes with it, and it doesn't have the serial number. So, and they continue to say, "Nope, that's real." But eBay had a return policy. So that's the only reason why we bought that, and we're taking a chance is because we knew worst case scenario we could get out of that transaction, and then we ended up doing that.
And also, like, your credit cards can do chargebacks. You can dispute if you pay with credit card.
Sure, yeah.
And I'm sure even in the grandfather's generation, there were people screwing each other over as well. But I
Oh,
think those were
definitely.
just more high trust societies than there are now. And some of that is just scale. Like, societies at a larger scale are going to be naturally lower trust than smaller communities.
Whoa, that just break for real, dog? See, this is why you could get shit manufactured in the U.S. This China bullshit sucks. You see that? I literally just tap tap tap. The thing fucking just broke.
You trust
Fucking piece.
Americans to make it better.
Uh I trust Americans to charge me more and get a higher quality, I think. But if I pay the same price as something in China, then no, I don't trust it. And I'm also willing to take a chance on American manufactured stuff more because I want American companies that are doing business in America that are hiring local Americans, and that I want that all to work. So I'm willing to. I'd say even willing to take a little bit of sacrifice in quality to make it work. If I'm being completely honest. What about you?
It depends more on where I buy it from than anything else. Like if I buy it from Amazon or Walmart or something, I know they're going to take it back, so I'm not going to worry. Plus, I always get my receipt. As long as I have my receipt, I'm fine. And I usually pay with a card, so I can always do a chargeback. So I feel I never worry about buying stuff because I always feel protected. I have enough
Mm.
consumer protections on my side.
Would you accept a little less quality if you knew that it was if all the the money stayed in the United States, meaning American company, American hired people, American manufacturer, blah 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 blah? Would
Depends
you
on
accept a
what the
little lower
product is.
quality?
It
Yeah.
depends on what the product is, how badly I need it, etc. I'm not going to automatically default to one or the other.
Hmm.
Um, Also, Japan is also not the scale of the United States either, and I don't know if in Tokyo it works the same as. Plus, that's just him saying Japanese honor still exists at scale. I don't know that it does.
Who said that?
His dad said that in his grandfather's generation, you could do business on a handshake, and by his father's generation, it was useless, and by his own generation, it was gone. But in Japan, it still exists. This is all just hearsay. I don't know that any. This is anecdotal. I don't know that any of this is true.
Yeah. All
Like
right. So let's. I mean, see. I would be willing to believe that, but I don't. Like you said, I don't know. I need proof, but that
I mean,
wouldn't
it's a
put it
nice
this way. It wouldn't
story.
surprise me.
That's probably just a story that people like to believe in.
It wouldn't surprise me because there's definitely some. I mean, like, isn't it? Maybe I get this wrong. Maybe it's China, whatever. Forgive me for being Asian ignorant, but like, isn't like don't some people like fall on a sword over honor? Like, you know what I'm trying to say? I know I sound like an idiot there, but
Right. Life experience is anecdotal. If it's from one person, it's anecdotal. Like I'm sure they had people screwing each other over back in the great grandfather's generation, and I'm sure they had legal contracts back then for the same reasons we have them now. So it's not like, oh my God, it's unheard of that somebody would ever break a handshake 3 generations ago. It happened.
yeah. Would you say that there was more social implications then than there is today, or no?
I have no way to tell one way or the
That's
other.
fair.
My
Yeah.
sense is that it goes by scale. If it's a small community where everybody knows each other, just like today, probably so. If it's a big city, the crooks could probably get away with screwing people over the same as they can today. There might have been less like they didn't have the technology to maybe track the people down and stuff. Like so to me, if anything, it'd probably be easier to break a handshake back then than it is now. Where you could find them on social media and you can go on social media and put them on blast.
Definitely social media, I think, is definitely making a big example of it. I think in a generation where you relied on communication, like where like you couldn't make a phone call and you had to write a letter, or things needed to be done person to person. I think it would be a little bit harder because like if you're in business, your reputation would be like a key way to you survive. And if you started screwing people socially, I think you'd go out of business pretty quickly, especially where people relied on word of mouth so much more. Um, Whereas you can kind of hide behind fake reviews and advertisements, you can reach a further customer base today. Like then you would really only be limited to your local economy. So if you know started screwing over your local economy, you're not going to last very long. That's
I
my
think any
opinion. I don't know if
business
that's
that
true.
screws over its customer is going to pay the price. regardless of it if it's
Well,
today or
your statement was whether it was easy or not, and I think yeah, you're right. They're never going to pay the price, but is it easier? I think it's a little bit easier to hide digitally today than you
I
know.
think it's harder because every time I have an issue now with a company and I don't get it resolved through their customer service, I go to social media right away and I put a complaint on Twitter or something like that, and I get a response almost instantly. I think it's a lot easier to advocate for the consumer using social media now than it was before.
Sure. Yeah, I guess you just say it's just different. I don't know if it's easier or harder. I think
I don't think the dynamics change. Like the dynamics of trust, I don't think have changed
no,
because
they
it's
haven't.
trust
But
is
the
from one individual human
yeah,
to another, and I don't think that individual humans have changed.
well, the way it's enforced, I think, has changed. Not trust in general.
And the main way it's been enforced in the past is through legal, like contracts and stuff, which is still the main way today. And then secondarily through public opinion, which social media has the ability to amplify now in a way that it couldn't before. But even back then, you could run an ad in the paper, you could tell all your friends, you could put some in the church bulletin or have the preacher say something. So there were still ways to get the information out on a mass scale. I just think
Sure.
social media makes it, you can do it from the comfort of your behind your laptop.
Yeah, I think all the basis behind all that stuff hasn't changed. I just think the methods have had to change with time and technology,
I don't
as
know what
anything.
this means, RW. If you're talking about a handshake, I don't know how you quantify how many individuals are doing handshake deals. They don't report it. There's no database that you report it to.
Yeah, you would need data to quantify. You know, without some kind of data, I mean, how do you quantify something?
But there may be some cultures where their legal system considers verbal contracts, or even in the US, there may be some verbal contracts that are
Yeah. Let me
valid.
save everybody some time. Trying to make some
I don't
mass
know.
statement or some you know, basically trying to form an opinion and put it out there based on nothing, no data. Jeff's going to be allergic to, and you're never going to convince him otherwise.
I'm
So
not
I'm gonna just
allergic,
stop
but
trying.
because I'm so big on epistemic hygiene here, I'm just not going to accept it
Ooh, what does
as
that mean?
just people thinking cleanly and clearly about things.
Epistemic? I love that word. Epistemic hygiene?
Because the whole conversation started about handshakes, handshake
Yeah.
deals, and to my knowledge, that's not something that's even studied on a mass scale. So we're all left to our own individual story about it.
Epistemic hygiene. I'm going to steal
And
that
my
one, Jeff.
story, based on what I know of human nature, is people probably broke handshake deals 100 years ago, just like they do today. And they
Right.
probably did it in environments where there were more people and more anonymity than in more tight knit communities where the consequences could be communicated more easily, just like today.
But if I make the statement of, oh yeah, no, it was much harder to break a handshake then than it is today. Like, how do you prove that?
Right. I think part of it is people just want to romanticize the past. Like, oh, but there was a time in America where you could do a handshake deal, and I don't know that that was ever the case.
Yeah, there. Okay, so let's pretend there was. There was also a time in America where you had to heat your house with coal. So, and that sucked. So take the good
Yeah,
with the bad.
apparently in Japanese culture, they're more accepted as the norm.
What handshakes?
Oh, because it's one person's word against another, which is one reason we do it in writing here. So you still come down to like, how do you know what the contract was if it's just verbal and there were no witnesses?
Well,
So
I
yeah,
guess that's
there's the answer
between
to culture.
two
Like
people and
some
God.
cultures are more tolerant of verbal contracts. I bought a GoPro a few months ago from somebody on YouTube, and I just trusted them to send it to me, and I said I'll pay you half up front, and when I get the thing, I'll give you the other half, and they did, and it was in the condition they said it was, and I paid them the other half, and all that was just verbal, just from trust, just from knowing each other on YouTube, no big deal.
Yep. So how did
If
you
they had somehow screwed me, there's probably not much I could have done other than go around YouTube and tell everybody that the person screwed me over.
well, you would have lost half your money and got half a GoPro, so I think you would have still worked,
It did
come
come
out
with the right
even.
the SD card, but I still got to
You
go out and
can't
get it. It still doesn't work. But the person didn't represent that it had the SD card. They just I think they thought it had the right card in it. But that was never part of the agreement.
So did you get any proof ahead of time? Did he show you like pictures? Was there enough for you to
Yeah,
be like,
yeah. I think they sent me a picture.
just curious, what kind of GoPro?
Um, I don't even know. And come to think of it, I'm not even sure where it is. Where did I put the thing? I need to get the right card for it before I can use it. So I stuck it somewhere. Is this it? It's this thing. Oh my God, it's all dusty. Um, I don't know. I can't even read it.
Should say Hero something on it. Um, looks like a newer
Hero. It
one with
just
this.
says Hero.
It's probably a Hero 10 by the looks of
I
it.
have the book and everything that has the model number, but I don't even know where I put that.
Well, based on that, if it's what I think it is, I think you can stream directly from the GoPro.
Yeah, but it won't let me fire it up without the card in it. Like it lets me get to the menu, but then I can't do anything with it because it says please put in SD card.
Yeah, you do need an SD card because it fundamentally works off of recording and then streaming, but there is no but you do need to be recording.
So even if I don't use the SD card, it won't let me do anything unless it has one in there.
It'll still record, yeah. So I think what it's doing is it's basically because like if the stream starts to go wonky, it utilizes the data that it's saving to keep the stream going. So it's not just gonna jarble up. It's gonna it'll get delayed and then it will catch up, but it bases that off of the data that it's storing. I mean, I don't work for Hero, so I can't tell you exactly the technology behind it, but I do know that you basically connect it to your GoPro app, for example, on your phone, and then you connect your Google account and everything, and then you can literally stream, but it streams directly to YouTube. So it's not like a StreamYard stream. It would just be on a YouTube stream. So you'd have to have all the numbers and all the stuff based on YouTube's
Oh, I
requirements,
was
not
just
on
gonna
StreamYard.
record video with more than stream.
Oh, but the reason why I'm bringing that up is, you were, I think you're trying to went for a walk the other day or something, and it's kind of a cool.
Oh, like I can use it as a camera?
Yeah, well, you would just basically start the stream. It would go directly
But
on
not through
YouTube,
StreamYard. I'd have to
not
do
through
it only
StreamYard,
through YouTube. Yeah, I want
not through
something I could do
StreamYard.
through StreamYard.
Right.
The thing is, the card fits. I don't know why it's not the right card because
Is
it
it might
fits.
not even be the problem with the card. So a lot of times, I've had SD cards go bad because believe it or not, you can only rewrite on an SD card so many times, and the cheaper the card is, the more likely it's going to fail on you. Like I got a Walmart SD card. Thing worked for I swear to God, 2 weeks. Then it completely was junk. And then I got the
Oh,
ScanDisk one, and the ScanDisk one was bulletproof for 2 years. But even after 2 years, the ScanDisk inevitably had a problem after rewriting so many times. So my recommendation is you try to get a real large 250 gig, 500 gig ScanDisk. This way you have a lot of space on it, and then you don't keep rewriting and rewriting over it. And then you'll probably get a little bit of life out of
how
that
much
card. Plus,
does
they're not
that
even that
run?
expensive. I think you can get a 250 for $40, 50, so in that neighborhood. I mean, you can get a 60 gig one pretty cheap, but you got to keep rewriting over it, especially if you're shooting in 4K or man, that's big data. Yeah, I got my GoPro, my drone, my Apple Pencil. I had a stabilizer. I had everything you needed to do streams and video. Had it in a backpack, including my car keys. And I pulled up at the gas tank, started fueling up, went inside to go get money out of the ATM. And in those 3 minutes that I was inside, somebody noticed that he was sitting on the other side of the gas tank, and he drove around, opened the door, pulled the backpack out, and drove off. And fortunately, my car was running, but I only knew this happened when I basically put the tank back, or I pulled the fuel out and started going, and then I started driving away, and I could hear the car was beeping at me like, "Where's your key?" I'm like, "What do you mean, where's my key? It's in my backpack." And I'm like, "Wait, where the fuck is my backpack?" And I turned around. I had to go back to the store. It wasn't too aggressive, but I had to get a little, let's say, verbally manipulative with the manager, and then she was able to bring me back and show me the security footage. And I was able to figure out what had happened, but the footage wasn't good enough to get a plate or a real good make and model. So they got away with it. But that shit was crazy. And it was like
You
literally
left your car,
huh?
you left your car unlocked?
Let the car unlock. The car was unlocked and running.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm trusting.
Yeah.
I mean, this was a well lit. This was a 7-Eleven that had bright lights. You were close to the door. There's cameras
That's where
everywhere.
all the sketchy people hang out, though, are the gas
I
stations.
know. And trust me, I learned this lesson. It was a very hard learned lesson to never do that again. And mind you, you're not even supposed to be fueling up your car with it running, but I always do that. I don't know why. I don't care.
Oh, yeah.
Especially when I was doing Uber at the time. The start stops were like killing the car, so I just kept it running. But yeah, they got me good. They got a backpack of goodies, that's for sure. But yeah. And it happened so quick, Jeff. I'm telling you, I like ran in and ran out. It was like, I think it was like literally 3 minutes and 20 seconds, I think was the length, the time in which it happened in. They seen me get out, and they seen the car was running, and they were like, and they didn't even try to steal the car. They just opened the door, see what I had, and there was my backpack.
Did you reacquire all of the equipment?
No. I mean, I wasn't really, the GoPro was like, I was using it more for like kayaking, and I was doing like the time lapse stuff where I would attach the camera to the kayak, and then we would drive to the destination. So you would get like a time lapse, like, so it basically create a video where it would show us like putting the kayak on the car, and then you'd get the time lapse view to the destination, and then you would get a combination of GoPro and cell phone video of us kayaking, and then the time lapse back. And it was just kind of like, it would be like, kayaking, and then it would just have like a real, like, maybe like a 15-25 minute video that would give you the trip there, from start to finish. So I was using it for that, very specific. And then, I just didn't feel the need to reinvest in all that stuff. I'd gotten the GoPro really cheap, which is why I had it. I didn't want to spend a stupid amount of money for no reason. I got that GoPro and all of its stuff for like $60.
Oh, yeah. That is a good
Yeah,
deal.
no, it was
Do you
great.
still
Yeah.
kayak?
Well, I will be kayaking at some point, but currently, no. I mean, I had to sell a lot of stuff, and I don't have a car right now, so yeah. Until I reacquire the stuff, I will not be kayaking.
RW asked if you were going after 2, 3, or 4 grade whitewater.
Ideally, I'm going for 0 whitewater. It was a sit on top, but we like just really what I used it for was fishing. So I had 2 angler kayaks. and I used the hell out of it for fishing. So I usually go out with like a couple rigs that had 2 holes, and then I had a holder in the front that you could angle, so you could even like throw out, whatever, and then paddle, and you could troll, or you could just keep right in front of you. You could bait, whatever. But mainly for fishing and for fun. Personally, I hate waves, especially in that kayak, because you just get wet all the time. But I've always wanted to get one of those really nice, like carbon fiber. Those, like, I don't know if you've ever seen them, but they're like 15 feet. They're like, they start like this, and then they only get about as wide as like your waist, basically, like a little bit wider. So you sit in, and they go all the way back, and they're just meant for like speed and distance. Those always seem like a real cool, like, I just would love to get one of those and just like travel like a coastline or something. Nice. Yeah, skirted. See, like, that's cool. Skirted is the way to go. If you're doing it that way. I don't know if you could probably look up the guy that he was like the only guy that kayaked across like the is it the Atlantic Ocean? I think it was the Atlantic. But he's the only guy that's done it, and he custom built his own kayak, which was like basically like a live-in boat. And this is the same guy I was telling you about that died. He like climbed up the top of a mountain and then summited and then went to sleep and died. I don't know if it's the same guy, but forget his name. But he's like one of those like crazy stories on YouTube or on the internet. Just guys that have accomplished amazing things. You would probably like
Is it
that.
Alexander Doba?
Yes,
He looks like Plastic African.
dude. I can't even believe he died at the age that he did, because he looked like he was just like one of those rugged, super healthy, athletic guys. But I think maybe he put so much of a toll on his body that, whatever. But I mean, the guy literally, the story is he's like, I'm just gonna go to sleep, and he went to sleep and he peacefully died. I mean, just ugh. I hope
He
I
was
go out that way.
74 years old. Oh,
74.
Kilimanjaro.
Mount Kilimanjaro, yeah.
Not just a mountain, it was Mount Kilimanjaro.
I couldn't think of the name, but yeah, it was a big mountain. It wasn't no like, barely a mountain. It was a good one. I'm just curious how he died. Did his heart give out? I mean, like, I'm just gonna go to sleep, and he
They
died.
don't say, they just say when he got to the top, he posed for a photo and then he took a 2-minute break and sat down on a rock and fell asleep.
Isn't that crazy?
It makes sense.
Does it?
Yeah, as old as he is. Kilimanjaro.
But what do you think happened? You think his heart gave out? Like what? Like, what do you think the cause of death was?
What would exertion? Is that
Maybe.
heart?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, it's not crazy to me that a 74-year-old man climbed Mount Kilimanjaro and then sat down on a rock and died.
Okay, no, it's not. But you know what's crazy to me is that you would think like he was like, oh, I think I'm having a heart attack or something or whatever. Not just, I'm just gonna take a 2-minute nap and then dead. Like, that's the part that's crazy to me. It's not like, yeah, of course you're 74. You climbed. Are you crazy? Of course you're gonna kill yourself. But like, just the whole like, all right, yep, all right, thanks for the photo. All right, just give me 2 minutes. I just need to rest, and dead. Like, there was no indication of dying. The guy just fell asleep, and they're like, "Hey, bud, what's up? You gonna wake up? We going back down?" Oh shit, he's dead. Like, that's the part that gets me. But I think of a way to go. I think that, God, man, he couldn't have picked a better way to fucking die, dude. I mean, that's a hero's death right there.
Trying to find the details, but I'm not seeing how.
I couldn't find a lot of details either because I was curious about it. You know, they could figure out like, and I guess it shouldn't even matter. I
I
guess,
mean, it
right? I
has to
mean,
be hard, right? What else do people die of from just sleeping?
but so I guess I'm just confused on like what is like when you die from exertion, like what is happening? Does your heart just stop? Does your liver give out? Like I hate the vague term exertion and then no medical explanation behind it. I guess.
AI is saying likely related to altitude sickness. The cause of death was reported as asphyxiation due to pulmonary edema, which can occur at high altitudes.
Ah, okay. See, that makes a lot of sense to me. That actually makes a lot more sense. Have
Abnormal
you ever
buildup of fluid in the lungs, which can make it difficult to breathe. It can be caused by heart problems, high altitude infections, or other factors.
have you ever gotten altitude sickness before?
No. We went to Pikes Peak when I was little, drove up by car, and everybody we had to keep stopping and letting them get out and throw up, but I was the only person that never felt anything at all. By the time we
That's
got to the top, I
exactly
was the only one even functional. It didn't
really.
affect me one bit.
Where were you? Were you living at sea level at the time, or were you living at a higher altitude?
Probably below sea level. I was in Louisiana.
Wow.
This was
And you
a
didn't get any altitude
like
sickness?
family vacation as a kid.
No, I literally it's almost exactly the same thing. Like we were living in Massachusetts at the time, which is pretty much right at sea level, and we flew to Colorado Springs, and then it was like the second day we like slept over. Second day we drove all four of us up to the top of Pikes Peak, and it was like by the time we got, like, we didn't have to keep stopping, but when we got to the summit, I started getting a little bit of a headache, and then I got super nauseous, and then it just kept getting worse and worse and worse, and finally I was like I had to lay down, and then when we got, it was like about halfway down, it was like I just started feeling better. It's crazy. Never experienced anything like that.
And he may have had symptoms and just not told anybody. It can be like headache, shortness of breath, fatigue, dizziness. None of that would be visible.
Yeah. No, I actually the altitude sickness makes a and asphyxiation or whatever, that actually makes a lot of sense because you would not be feeling great. You would want to take a nap or sit down. Like that actually explains a lot for me. Um, I would just think that by summiting, you would have adjusted a little bit towards it, but it takes a while. You don't just like acclimate like immediately to that kind of altitude.
And again, I go back to 74 years old too. There's no telling what other
Sure.
health issues he already had.
Yeah. Well, you just assume he was like pretty healthy considering he was what he was putting his body through, but that probably also contributed to it. He's very athletic, obviously. These potatoes came out great, if I don't say so myself. Uh-huh.
What do you have going on today or this weekend?
Um, I actually have another interview for a side job at a really nice restaurant. Very expensive, but I'm trying to get in as a just kind of like do like weekends and maybe a day during the week or dinner during the week or something, just for some side cash.
Are you gonna have to dress up?
Probably just your basic black pants, white dress shirt. Um, I don't think a tie is required.
Are you going for like bread boy or water boy?
Fuck no.
Which
Do
mean
I look
fuck.
like a
That's what I
bread?
did when I did
Do I look
fine
like a
dining.
bread boy to
And
you? The bread guy or the water boy?
I had to wear the black pants and the white. That was the exact uniform.
No, no. Well, in fairness, they all have to wear that,
I
even
was
down to
good
usually the
too.
host.
I kept that bread full and that water.
Oh, I bet you did. Did it like
And
did
I
it
got
when you
tips.
broke it open, did it steam like that AI video that who's play
I don't
breaks it
remember.
open and the steam comes out?
Probably. I don't remember. It was in New
I'm
Orleans.
going for waiter. Yeah. I can fill in as a bartender, though I'm not like a certified bartender, but I've done enough like weddings and parties where I've made enough mixed drinks to qualify as a bartender. The wine or the cheese grater guy.
Do you have your
Usually,
mixology degree or
no,
certificate?
that's what I'm saying. I don't. Primarily at the parties, I actually relied on AI. I'd be like, we usually had like 4 or 5 drinks that we had as like your party drinks that we knew how to make. And then if somebody was like, I need a Bay Breeze, and I didn't know exactly, what it was, I'd just be like, all right, Bay Breeze, and then
What?
it would give me like all the stuff. And then a lot of times with bartending, you can once you have an idea of the basics, you can kind of mix and match things. Not so it's not perfect, but it comes out tasting the same, or if not, maybe add a little twist to it. And people are very open. If the drink tastes good, they don't really give a shit. They just want, if they want a Bay Breeze, they want something a little bit citrusy.
What is it?
Okay,
A Babry?
a Bay Breeze, like there's like a Sea Breeze and then like a Bay Breeze.
Oh, Bay Breeze. Okay.
Yeah. So they're two similar drinks. It's just one is a little bit more, I think, if I remember, whatever. It doesn't matter. But the point is, anything you don't know how to make, you just look it up, and then you just know you got to keep your
What if the
basics.
AI hallucinates and you give them something?
And I give them some trash.
Or,
Yeah, they'll probably send
yeah,
it back
or
and tell me I'm
something
an
they're not
asshole. I
expecting.
mean, yeah.
Something like that should be easy for the AI, though. It's just drawing on existing information, which there's
Yeah.
plenty of.
And I think it's a great tool. I use Grok for it, and Grok would even be down to like when we wanted to make the drinks, we'd be like, hey, I need 5 signature drinks. I need, this is the theme, this is the stuff that we have. Uh, you know, we create 5 signature drinks from that along with drink posters, and the thing would just pump out 5 fucking beautiful drinks with the posters, and we just print the posters out, put that. It was like, dude, and that's how I would sell it to, because when I was doing the parties and stuff, I was also on the sales side booking the events. So when I would sell it to the consumer, I would just be like, I think this party would, it's 5 signature drinks based on this, blah, blah, and based on the information you gave me, this is what I think would be good. And I send it over. The guy's like, wow, this is great. You guys are amazing. I'm like, yeah, I know we are.
Wait, these were existing parties, or you had to go out and secure future part? Like you would
Well, it's both.
pitch.
So I worked for this guy that he did like catering and events. And so he had an existing schedule of events. And then I was assisting him on the uh wait staff bartender side as well as the sales side. So I earned a weekly salary to help him secure the events. So I would go on, there's a couple platforms that you can go on, and you basically put yourself out there, and then people submit, hey, I have this party, this is what I'm looking for, here's my price range, and people would reach out. So I basically on my free time would just be sending out text, phone calls, and emails to all these people trying to secure the event. And then any bites that I got, then it would just be like, well, this is what I'm looking for, what would it cost, and then we would confer, and then I would then close the deal and close it via deposit and secure it on the calendar. So I was helping on all fronts. I was helping on the sales side, I was helping on the staffing side, on the creative side, the marketing, everything. It was one of those companies that were managed by one person, and he's just like he had gotten through life really just by being a good salesperson and being a good entertainer. So his business was like, he had expenses all over the place, whatever. So he needed a little help. He needed somebody, like, he needed to keep doing what he was good at with also getting, like, kind of tightening the ship a little bit. And that's kind of where I started helping is like, hey, let me help you secure the events, and then this way we could get more money coming in. And then it was like, all right, well, how do we save money? Let's reuse this, that. Let's not, buy the most expensive stuff. Let's, just anywhere we could cut costs. And then, hey, you don't have to pay an additional bartender. You just pay me a little extra for this event. We'll go. And anywhere we could try to help out there. But unfortunately, the guy, just defaulted to his usual way of doing business, and inevitably it didn't work out. But
How
it
long
was
did you
fun
do
while it
that?
lasted. I did it for a little while, actually. I did it for, like, I think 6-7 months. And I met the guy off a Craigslist app. The guy was like, "Hey, we're just do a wedding. I'll pay you 250 at the end of the day." It was like from like 3 to like 11, and I think it was a 3 to 11, 3 to 10, and whatever. And I just had a great time. It was like a really, we served. I did it was in the back helping out. I was in the front serving. We just kind of filled in anywhere and putting chairs away, and it was easy work. The night went by fast. I got $250 at the end of the day. I was like, "This is great." And he's like, "I like you. I think we could start working together on future events." And then that's where it all got started. But he's unfortunately was a little bit of a salesperson. He sold a little bit more than he could provide.
We got somebody in the back. What's up?
What's up? You know who this is?
Oh,
Huh?
what's up, nuns?
Chilling.
Oh, are y'all fighting?
No.
No.
Oh, okay. I never know who's having drama this week.
Like I said on other panels, I'm not gonna let anybody's beef project onto me because that's not my beef. You know what I'm saying? I handle my own shit no matter what. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It is what it
And
is.
it's all YouTube beef
I got
anyway. It's
respect
not
on
even real
both
beef.
sides, so I'm not gonna, not regardless of if even if it's YouTube or not. Like I said, I got respect on both sides, and I'm not gonna, I don't forget people. I don't forget what people did. You know what I'm saying? That's just what it is for me, right?
Well, as long as you don't bring it here, that's good.
Oh, that's that.
That's that.
That's that. What's up?
Not much. How you been? How's your day going? What the fuck is the topic
Just
today?
chatting. Hey, have you ever started a business or run a business?
I mean, right now, if you do like a 1099, of course you're gonna run your own business. You know?
Yeah, kind of, sort of. Independent
Sort of.
contractor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've attempted to start my own business. I did everything. I created the company. I did all that. It just, when it came down to like the expenses and the taxes and all that stuff, it just became too overwhelming, and it's just a lot. It's not an easy thing running a business. You definitely need help. What's up, Kitty?
It depends on the business, I guess. Mine is sole proprietor, so it's pretty.
It's basically, whatever's like lucrative and like, how cheap you buy the product for, and then when you buy, like, you know what I'm saying? It all depends on the situation. Like, what your markup is. Like they got where you can buy pallets and shit like that full of like iPads, and I don't know if you ever heard of that before.
Yeah, I saw that on yeah, because I was looking into different things, and they were like, yeah, you can just buy a pallet, and they even give you the list of the stuff that's in there, and you can 100% make money. You just gotta get rid of all the
Amazon.
stuff.
You can
Yeah,
Amazon, you can fucking Shopify it, you can fucking, there's so many other things you can do, bro. Like, you know
yeah.
what I'm saying? And you could also promote it too as well. So if you have like a website, you can promote. Google
What up,
can
Moose?
if you like
Here's someone who knows a little something about running
if
a
you put
business.
some money towards that, like towards advertisement in Google, they'll spread out your website more. For sure.
So, IG, Don't make me have to time you out.
Yeah, time him out.
Is
Fuck.
Moose talking? Because I
Yeah,
can't hear him.
you can time him out, bro. He's a dickhead.
Well,
Me?
he is coming. That's his
Oh, there he
warning.
is. Okay.
My IG.
No, sorry.
I
So there was my homie from Mexico. He's a Canadian dude who plays the banjo, and he just hit me up. And you know,
Oh, you're cutting out.
well, I stopped talking because I was making sure
Oh.
you hear me or not.
Mm.
The Canadian guy, right? He plays the banjo. He hit me up and he told me he just got a couple songs recorded, and it was going to cost him $200 to have one of the songs mastered. And so I told him, I said, "Yo, just send me the rest of the songs, and I'll see what I can do." And then I sent him my channel, and right as I joined the panel, he sent me a message back. I'm on my phone right now. So he
Oh,
said
okay.
his response was, "Holy fuck!" He said, "Fuck me, I didn't realize you were a genius." And I was like, "Oh," and he's like, "God damn, I just didn't know." He's like, "I just didn't fucking get it." I was like,
why? Because what you did with the how you audio engineered it? Is that what he's saying?
No, like the whole thing, because he was like, "Well, how did you?" Because the first thing he said back was, "What do you mean you made this?" And I said, "Well, I wrote the lyrics. I had the lyrics worked on, and then I used one of my friend's images. I made the characters to the story. I made the storyline. I made the video, and then like I did all of it. And that's the part that blew him away because he's an older guy."
Yo, Moose. I
Got
got
it.
a question to ask you. What do you do to like mix it? Like, I'm trying to figure that out, bro. Like, do you fuck with the levels? Like, how's that working? What's the definition of that?
I have a program that I made that does it for me.
Oh, nice.
So, like, that's something that Landry taught me. Like, if you want to learn something, all you got to do is ask. Like, and if you ask the AI in the right way, it'll walk you through it like you're a fifth grader or a third grader, and it will like literally hold your hand on to make whatever you want.
I got GarageBand. Give me a second. I got some business coming in. But
Okay.
yeah, I got GarageBand. So I mean, I'm interested in this shit as well. So I'd like to learn how to do this shit because I'm into music as well, and I do all that shit. I do a lot of freestyle, bro, off the top of the head, and it sounds, for freestyle, it sounds pretty good.
Yeah,
Um,
but it's
AI.
to master
Okay.
it, make
yeah,
it sound good.
yeah, that's what I'm interested in, making it sound better. Like this, it all depends on like the mic, like the setting of the frequency of responding to the instrumental. If like it has feedback, it's not going to sound as good. Some distortion works depending on where it is. But yeah, let me take care of this business.
1099.
So Moose, are you talking about like the AI does the mastering as well, or are you actually manually doing that stuff?
Oh, I could do both, but a lot of my stuff I just have it automatically do it for me because like I'm not really I don't know as much about music theory as a computer does, so I figure it knows exactly what the lyrics are. It knows exactly the timing on each verse. It knows everything about the song because I give it all that. So I figure it'll do a better job than me because I don't really know shit about mastering shit. But I have done some manual stuff and it comes out fine. It's just all it is just fucking volume shit.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, there's like I think there's the way to do it where it's like if you do it generally, you're going to get a good result. And then you have like artists that like know how to really kind of uh, ride the line of what's acceptable and not acceptable in a way that's artistic. So like I give you maybe this is a bad example, but there's this artist called Somber, and he always has his voice distorted, like as if the volume is a little bit too high and it's peaking, and then he brings the volume down and he distorts that a little bit. And normally you would say that is not what you would want to do, but he does it that way because that's the way he wants his music to sound. So like that's where the artistry comes in. But like I can imagine, like, you know, servicing the general public, the AI would just do a good enough job to make it sound like perfect, you know. So that's kind of like I always like the artists that ride the line and kind of do things differently, that they kind of put their stamp on it, that
Oh
I
yeah,
think AI will never do. But for just work and servicing, yeah, AI I would say would probably do a great job.
like you got to think about it like this. Like I have to, as a creator, if I really want to get enough people to follow me, I have to pump out as much content as possible, because, and the only reason why is because I song is only 3 minutes, 4 minutes long. That's not going to get you. It's shit. And you, like, I've only had this channel for a month or whatever, like 95 subscribers, like 20,000. Nothing, nothing compared to what I used to get, right? But if I only post once, I'm like, it's gonna take a fucking year or two just to get monetized.
Yo, Moose, you ever heard of DistroKid?
Yeah, I use it.
All
Yeah,
right, good. Yeah, I was gonna see if you didn't use it, I was gonna try to put you onto that. But yeah, there's a bunch of shit out there too that you like. Cakewalk, Acid Pro, all them shits is like old school. But I like the technique with it. Like, you know what I'm saying? I like, because it's the original shit. Fruity Loops, that's not bad, you know, for making instrumentals and shit like that.
that's
Uh,
the thing, right? The Fruity Loops.
huh?
Fruity Loops is like that thing that T-Pain uses, right?
Well, no, a lot of people use that because like you can, there's a lot of samples in there. Like, you obviously you have to buy packs and shit like that as well, but you know, it's worth it. You could even get a fucking what is that called? Like an MPC or whatever. You know what MPC is?
No, I actually.
So you record, like, say, like you tap, you record a sound. The thing that Timbaland uses, like doo doo doo, like, you know what I'm saying? They have like some have like 9 nodes where you press the buttons and shit like that.
Where it loops it, like if you play.
Yeah, your music, or do you okay, yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's fucking dope. The thing is like I want to do all those little pieces, right? And I want to make a super masterpiece. But honestly, the shit I spend the most time on is the shit that people care the least about. It's fucking weird.
Like what? Like
It's
what?
So like
I
yeah.
like, other than I'm gonna tell you this, the music and the videos that give the most are the ones I spent the least amount of time on.
Oh,
That's all I can say. Like it whether it's like generating the song or generating the like actual video or putting it together, like the ones I spend the most time on, the ones I try to perfect the most, the ones that get the least amount of views, the least shine. They like, it's weird. It is like the weirdest phenomenon, because artists like the artist that Mr. P was talking about, that puts his own like stamp on it, has it like, it takes time for that artist to build his following, because he's going against the grain. He's not doing what's normal. He's not doing what everybody else is like used to, and so he's got to like actually build that following of people who like that sound, his voice distorted and shit like that. Same with me. I'm going against the grain in a way, so it's like it's just slow.
Well, there's almost like there is the artistry, and then there's like, you know, trying to make like something that is beautiful, that is made for yourself, and then there's the business aspect where you're making it for the masses that you might not necessarily enjoy, that's going to sell the most. And I think those are two very different things. That's why you have like pop music is very different than indie music. So pop music is going to commercially be more viable, but indie music, at least for me, is sounds better. I can relate. I can feel what the artist is doing. You know, that's music that can elicit an emotion from me. Pop music just gets me to tap my foot and it's catchy. Those are
so
two
you're not
different
a
things.
Swiftie?
like indie music, it actually like
What's
had
a
one
Swifty?
follow like storylines and stuff like that, and then you got pop shit that's like, uh, like Katy Perry's War, or some
Yeah.
Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift, like where they like some
Ah.
the songs that I have, right? The ones that I let the AI like take over and like find and like redo it are the ones where you'll see like it'll have the screaming something 3 times or whatever. And then the ones that I write completely 100% by myself, you'll see it's completely unstructured. It's not like all the other music. It's not like the other songs. And it's just like that's what I like. I like creating shit for myself, but like the problem with creating shit just for myself is that like everybody in my life expects something from me, whether it's my child, my wife, work. Like I've got so many obligations that it's like I either gotta like figure out how to make money with art, or I gotta like, make less art.
No, I think you're doing it right. You just make you make the stuff that you want to make that's for you, and then you provide for your family with the stuff that sells. I don't think you're doing it just perfect.
Yo, Moose, do you receive revenue from your music yet or no? Because eventually it'll kick off because a lot of people listen to it. You know what I'm saying? Like put it on multiple platforms and you'll see. That's why DistroKid is so good because they promote it as well. You know what I'm saying? That's you know.
We have I gotta start like down in the description.
Your mic keeps cutting in and out.
I'm gonna go inside. I'll be back, guys. I'll go inside and get on.
Oh, okay. Might be your signal.
I gotta get on my real.
Okey doke. Yeah, this is a good conversation.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Sometimes if you turn off the background noise thing, sometimes that helps with that. Go ahead, Nuns.
I think he's
Yeah,
outside.
while I was incarcerated, I was going to this music program in there as well for like 4 months. So I learned and I developed a whole bunch of other shit. So I was using a lot of GarageBand, Logic Pro, all that shit, right? Making instrumentals. That it's pretty cool, man. It's a good thing.
You lay all your own tracks.
Sometimes. But I've been taking instrumentals from like DMX and all that shit too as well. Like bring your whole crew. What's it called? Like there's a few instrumentals that I fuck with.
You have a music channel or like a SoundCloud or something?
Nah.
Where can we find your music?
I only send it to a select few because I don't want everybody hear about shit. I'd prefer to be a ghostwriter. I'd prefer to be a ghostwriter than do all that shit.
Yeah. Plus, they'll find it here, and then they'll probably use it to fuck with him, and then that'll hurt his creative ability and stuff. I get it. Just keep it separate.
Yeah.
I get that. People here are just mean. So like they'll even if they like it, they'll still talk shit about it just to troll. Which then that fucks with you. And so why even bother? I get that.
Nah,
Only if you give them a reaction.
About that, bro. Personally, like I don't.
That's their fuel.
Exposure from that shit. I don't want exposure from that shit. It hurt.
Yeah, but what is? I don't know what that means.
Well, it is what it is. Like rap is rap, bro. You gotta walk the walk in that situation. Can't talk shit.
What is that? Wait, what you mean you gotta walk the walk? You
That's
gotta
what
be gang banging to rap?
Nah.
Oh.
You can't be like Rick Ross
I
and
spoke
tell
too
people that
soon.
you can't be like Rick Ross and tell people that you hate cops and then be a parole officer or whatever you call those guys that did not a parole officer,
Correction officer.
correction officer. Yeah.
Oh, you have to like appear authentic.
There you go.
Performative
Yeah.
authenticity.
Something like that.
Like even down to your name, like the fact that like he took his name from the actual Rick Ross that walked the walk. But then like that also kind of goes against what you're saying because like he pretended and he was successful though. So I don't know.
So did 50 Cent. Did you know that he took it from there was a snitch named 50 Cent, and not talking about Curtis. I'm talking about the other
Curtis
guy.
Blow.
Yeah.
But like, see, I don't like 50s like whatever. He had a couple songs that were popular when I was listening to him. But like for me, like what his whole every time somebody talked about 50 Cent, they were like, oh, he got shot this amount of times. Like the fact that he took so many bullets, I think, was like why people thought he was like so legit. You know, because he like the way he talks is a little different because he got shot in the face and this and that. You know, like he got shot in the face. I got to hear this dude. Like that's like literally what happened.
Oh yeah, no, I don't know if that happened.
So is it about the music at all? Like the music doesn't
Very
speak for
smart
itself?
businessman, bro. He invested in he had this vitamin water situation. You know, he made a lot of money on that shit.
Right. Well, that came after that was after his come up. Like his business sense was great, so he secured his future once he became popular enough and once he had enough money coming in. Like the dude's an insane businessman. You know, atop from the fact that he was a rapper. But what I'm saying is like what sold his music. Then a big part of it was how many times he got shot. You know, and the fact that he was obviously making decent music. I'm not taking that away from him, but that sold like the as you say, like the walk, you know what I mean? Like the
Exactly.
fact that yeah, he took how many bullets, like, you know?
Yeah, I mean he woke up, so that's a good thing. You know?
Well, I'm glad they're
Speaking of
using the
50,
art to rise above all that.
yeah, facts.
Anyway,
Speaking of 50, why does he, what's his beef with Diddy? I know there's something going on there. I just don't know what. He seems like die hard against Diddy, man.
I bet. So Diddy, peep this. Diddy back in the day, uh had slept with 50's baby mother. And she died.
Ah,
When she died, something happened, she died, right? So 50 has been nothing but relentless going after Diddy since then.
okay.
He used to ghostwrite for Diddy.
Aha, got it.
oh, okay. Well, have fun. And next time this was a good conversation. So next time you're up, I want to get into it some more. But definitely prioritize that and make sure y'all have a good time. That was one of our 5 pillars, having fun. All right.
I like that
Moose
despite
says
he was
dad,
trying to
dad duty.
oh, okay. I was gonna say I liked it despite trying to like essentially close a deal, he was still trying to come up on panel. It's
Oh,
like
no,
man, a man that shares his time.
both of you, Nunzio and Moose. Good. They're balling. That's
Nah,
progress.
I just got
I
yeah.
want
Look,
everybody on here
I'm
making
not
deals.
balling. I don't want that limelight. I'm good. I don't like
Uh,
living flashy. I take care of my shit. I save my money. That's what it is.
okay. Well, I'm trying to ball
Well, shit, you do that. I don't need the
or
eyes.
bling or something.
Yo, when you look too flashy, that's another thing. You know, you have a target on your back, not only for fucking
No
thieves,
gold-plated
cops,
antlers.
you know what I'm saying? All that shit.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't think I'm in danger of that.
Yeah, balling. I'm talking about like wearing a $250,000 chain, like an AP
Oh
watch,
no, I could. I don't think I'd even spend that on a chain.
or fucking Breitling, whatever the fuck it's called.
I mean, it's not a horrible investment. It's like you've got. I'm not saying I would. It's a great investment, but shit, you fucking buy something like that and you keep it around your neck for 10 years. It's gonna be worth more in 10 years. I mean, it's not the worst thing. I mean, it's better than blowing it on cocaine and strippers. You know.
Yeah,
I'm not saying I agree, but shit, I'd rather
I
see
don't
it
want to
around your
get
neck than
over golded.
yeah.
fucking yo, that pinky ring that the fucking what's his name had. It was a fucking devil. It had a red ruby in the fucking eye, bro. This shit was sick, bro. What was his name? The guy that got caught in Staten Island. The mobster. What the fuck his name?
Gotti, John Gotti,
Nah, not that cat.
Sammy the Bull
Nah,
of
bullshit artists. Mike, you know what I'm
Fozzy.
talking about, right?
No, I don't.
Luciano got
You know
chopped
all those mobsters look alike.
by like a razor gang in Staten
Sound
Island. You
alike, act alike.
heard? I'm sure. Look that shit up.
Wait, say it again. It's
What's the web?
Went to Staten Island, got chopped up by a razor gang.
damn.
Yeah.
Like the Peaky Blinders.
Mm-mm. Like the Staten Islanders.
No, I know. You ever seen the Peaky Blinders?
Yeah.
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 That shit is amazing. When I found out that they had razor blades in their scally caps and they were blinding people, that I was like, yo, this shit is wild, man.
Yeah.
What a gangster ass way to fucking go about shit.
No, he didn't die like that.
No, I'm not saying he did. I'm just saying the show. It's kind of
Yeah.
funny. Anyways. But you know what? That's one thing I've never really followed a lot is like I think the mob's cool, like as far as some of the stuff, but like I'm not like one of those. I'm not like Tommy D where like I know like every mobster and where they like I just never really that stuff never really took me. I don't know why.
I know certain things.
Yeah, I'm not that hot on criminals either. Organized criminal gangs.
I wish I was because I probably would have made more money. You know.
Nah, that's a shitty life, bro.
Would you have felt as good about yourself?
Live
I
you
don't
die.
know. I can't. I don't want my money to come from
You
crime.
live in jail or you
I gotta
die.
be able to sleep at night.
Two options. You want that? And then your kids have to go visit you in jail if they see. Like, yo, listen, that shit is a fucked up. It's a fucked up thing, bro. You know? Take care of
Yeah.
it's like stay on the low.
Sounds
Don't
pretty
fucking get involved in shit that doesn't, in unnecessary beef. That's just what it is. And protect yours. You heard?
Yeah. What's that saying? The light that burns twice as bright burns half as long, or something like that.
Exactly.
No, if I could choose something that I would do like passion wise, I would love to be involved in like movies in some way, either on screen or a camera operator or editing. I find I just have such a passion for movies, man. I just
It should
love.
be in our Panelverse movie that we're trying to make.
Yeah.
Yo, Mr. P, you got time to go back to school? Try to take it like an online class, some shit.
Or just use AI, make an AI movie.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Or
I got a
going
lot of
in.
time to do a lot of stuff. I'm going back to work soon, but
Laptop, they'll give you a fucking the programs, all that shit.
Here, let's start writing one right now. Hey.
We're free.
like I'm just waiting for that time to line up where they're like, we need like this kind of like
all that.
Mediterranean looking guy for like this role, whatever. And then I just go in there and fucking read the lines a certain way and impress them, and then get into the movie.
Like a
Like
Mediterranean hairdresser.
I'll take anything, dude. If I could get on screen, I could be. I'll do any role. I really don't give a fuck. I think that
I
shit's
can see you as
amazing.
a gay.
Dude, listen. I don't know if I told you this, but I grew up in Algonquin, Maine, in the summer, and bro, I was like prime rib to those guys up there. I was like, I could be walking with a group of girls, and they would still fucking say shit to me. It's crazy.
What's up there? Is that where the gays are?
Well, the Algonquin, Maine happens to be like a pretty big. It wasn't like this in the beginning, but it became a real big gay tourist.
Oh, I didn't even know that. I knew about P-Town, but I didn't know.
Check it out. Google Algonquin, Maine.
Yeah,
it's absolutely beautiful.
And I didn't even know Algonquin.
It's Algonquin. It's named after Algonquin, but it's called Algonquin.
The essential LGBT travel guide, outcoast nation, vagabond. They call it. No, never heard of this in my life,
dude. They got a piano bar. They got clubs down there. It's to the
Bruce,
point where
did you
like
know about this, Leggy? Did you know about Algonquin?
Well, they're up north. This is southern Maine. This is like only from where I'm at in North Shore, Massachusetts, it's only an hour. So they're like 4 hours up north. Like that's real Maine. This is like touristy, like, just beautiful. But anyway, it's a gorgeous, gorgeous coast town. It's got a nice mix of locals. A lot of the local business owners are gay, whatever. That I really don't give a shit. Then you get like your lobstermen, your real Mainers there. It's a great combination. Plus, then in the summertime, there's like for every one Maine license plate, you got like 10 out of state plates. So it's just super big tourist attraction. But anyways, I was one of the local, like, so for years I would just fish off the bridge, which is the bridge that would connect the Gunkwit beach parking lot to the rest of the town, because they have a tidal river that goes in. And it got to the point, and I shit you not, man, I caught so many fish there and so many people videotaped me that I went back after not being there for like 5 years. And I went back and I was there for like a week, and I went fishing. And I had some guy that was like, you know what? Are you the kid that used to catch all the stripers? And I had this specific bathing suit. He's like, and you had the great bathing suit on. I'm like, bro, what? He's like, yeah, I used to come down here every year. I remember you. I'm like, Jesus Christ. I mean, it was like to that point, where people knew who I was. Because, dude, and I'm not trying to brag, but like I was trained. Like I learned how to fish from like a guy that like had fished that area for like 40 years. He was like in the community, was like everybody knew this guy. And so like he taught me like really how to fish well there. So like would have like like a line of like 30 people there. I would be the only one landing these fucking monsters. So and then tourists love that when they seen somebody catch a fish
Yes.
and then land the thing and then hold it up. They were like they want to take pictures with you. They want to take pictures of the fish. So like I became like a staple down there. You know. I loved it, man.
You managed to get gay guys into
What are you
fish.
catching over there?
Striped bass mostly.
Stripers, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And then at certain times of year you can get a couple blues. They actually used to put I don't know why they put brown trout in there because they can mix with salt water. So it was brown trout at one point, and then I caught a lot of flounder too.
Yeah.
They would use
I usually to catch bluefish, you can throw anything on there. But for blackfish, you ever heard of blackfish before?
yeah, blackfish. They're like they're black bass, right?
Well, they're under they're over there too. They basically hang on the rocks and shit like that, bro. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I think they call them black bass or rock bass or whatever.
Something like that. So
Yeah, a lot more of those are in Cape Cod than in Maine, but
yeah, those are good. That fucking white meat right there, bro. That's good meat. But anyway, so you want to catch those with fucking soft shell crabs because that's what they fucking eat. They're gonna knock that, bro. I was reeling in a blackfish, right? And as I'm reeling in, there's this like school of bluefish that I don't notice, but you can see the ripples in the water. Because when I was reeling that bitch in, I started feeling the fucking line, get busy. And as I'm reeling up my fucking blackfish, you see the bluefish just chomping on this motherfucker. The shit was like in half, bro. No bullshit. I almost caught two of them bitches. Like, you know what I'm saying? That motherfucker was huge.
Mm.
But yeah, that shit was fire, bro. We was right
Yeah,
off
no.
under
So
near
when
like
we would
Jersey.
go ahead. Sorry, buddy.
Yeah, that shit was dope.
Jeff, what are you looking at? Your last shot.
I just asked it to write a movie about the Panelverse. This thing is creepy. It's like changing people's names to like actual panel people name, like Cash Out, Kane, Vic, Vertigo. It's scary. I don't want to say too much about it because it's pulling in some real panel drama, and it's just disguising names. And it says it's like hang on, let me give you the plot outline. Freelance clip editor gets hired to cut highlights from live stream fights, only to become the scapegoat when one perfect out of context clip detonates a multi channel war, pulling him through a labyrinth of emergency panels, trust exercises, and tribunal streams where the only truth that matters is whatever earns the next super chat. And then they have a bunch of
I'm
characters based on real
fucking
life panel people.
dead, bro. That is
And it has a
the
whole
most
script with dialogue, like
yo.
mimicking these panel fights.
Crazy.
That's hilarious. But yeah,
We
no,
can
we used
pull
to
up
nuns, we used to do troll fishing in Maine. So we go a little bit off the coast and we'd just troll with like some whatever, some like shit that was like it was like a
They have troll
three
fish.
sectioned no, it was troll
What the
fishing. So
Jig, you throw it out and cast, and then you try to jig the fish like for bunker or something. Snag.
no,
That's
no,
what I
no,
was
no, no,
thinking.
no, no, no,
Like
no.
you'd use
Trolling
it
is
trying to
you have a lure with a big lip that is when you put pressure on it dives down to about like maybe 10 feet, and it's sectioned up in three sections, so it moves like a fish, like it causes it to wiggle, and it looks like it's a fish swimming really
Oh, so
fast.
it's like one of those
Oh, it like trolls
lure,
the
a
fish.
big lure, more or less. Yeah, with the three
I
hooks.
thought that's
on
what
the
all
back and shit,
lures is.
right?
Right. So it's three, and you got three treble hooks or whatever. So the thing looks like a fish swimming really fast. And when you start to see, the birds start diving, you know that they're going after some bait fish, because that's how usually the striped bass and the bluefish, they work together, and they kind of bring the fish up to the surface and they slam them at the surface. So when you start to see the birds going through, you just basically bring the boat through and kind of cut the edge of it and have it so it's like swimming by the main, and then inevitably like a big one would just come up and slam it, and then next thing you know your rod's bending down and things. And I think the biggest one I ever caught was like 50, 54, 55 inches, and for a bluefish that's pretty big. And I mean, I needed help getting it in. It was like
Bro,
it was a lot. Huh?
that's crazy. How fucking heavy was that thing?
Oh, it was very heavy, dude. I mean, I just remember the size of it. I don't remember. I don't know if we weighed it. I know they put it on a weight or whatever, but it was so long ago. I'd just be making it up. But if you look at the average size, it was a really big blue though. It was like one of the bigger ones that was caught.
Shit though. So the bigger the blue, they consist a lot of mercury.
Yeah.
That's why
I remember, it's funny you said that, because I remember thinking that it didn't taste that good.
So for like 34 inches around there, like because they taste sweeter. Fucking 42 is pretty nice for like, yeah, bro.
Yeah, it did. I'm not gonna lie, it wasn't as good as, because I was thinking it was gonna taste really good, and it really wasn't. Like I've had bluefish that are like 22 inches, 23 inches that taste way better. Like you said, almost like sweet, like a little bit of oily, but they were really good. But
Yeah.
yeah, my favorite is striped bass though, man. I really love the fish itself and the meat. I just, and you really can't go wrong with, like, doesn't matter what size it is. It's just a
Throw
good
them
fish.
back, though. So if they're not a certain size, where I'm from, in Staten Island, if they're not a certain size, you got to throw them back. That's just what it is.
Well, they got rid of this, but they had a slot limit at the time, so it would be 20 to 26 you could keep, and then 36 inches or over. Or sorry, 20 to 26, and then 40 and over. So you're either keeping a monster, or you're keeping like a schoolie essentially. And
Yeah, but the schoolies taste better, honestly.
they do. Yeah.
They're sweeter. Like, that's what I was trying to tell you about. Not the fucking any bluefish is gonna be fucking crazy, bro. But snappers are good too. You know what snappers are?
Yeah. Well, I've seen the red snapper. I know what a snapper is. I don't think I've ever caught one.
It's like a baby
Kept one.
bluefish, more or less. Like,
Okay.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
Yeah. Spurling. I used to use spurling, those little fucking live shits. Those live shits. Live spurling I used to cast out, grab the fucking net, pull up, put it in a bucket, all that shit.
Yeah.
Because it comes with a net. And then you go right off the pier, and they're right under there, so you just pick that shit up, and then for snagging bunker, you just gotta cast out and shit.
Right. So that's how we would catch. That's how we would get bluefish in Connecticut. Was like bunker is way more, like bunker would come into the rivers, they'd come into the harbors, they'd come into shallow water. Whereas like up in Maine, like we really don't have a lot of bunker. It's more like these like small bait fish or sand eels or they're like it's just different. Like you don't see a lot of bunker in Maine. I mean, I'm sure like there's certain parts, but like where I was, like we didn't snag bunker. Like we would dig for sandworms or sand eels or mackerel. Not dig, but catch mackerel or
Better
you
too,
know,
like
yeah,
if you should bought that shit in the
clams.
store. Yeah, clams are good too. Now I'm saying bunker, you can buy that shit in the store if it's frozen, but if you snag your own shit, it's like fresher. And
Oh yeah,
love that shit.
yes. So we would. That's how we do it in Connecticut. You'd go. Basically you see a big school of them. You just use a big treble hook. You snag a bunch of them. Then you could either, if you're willing to wait, you could take a bunker and just keep it live and let it go. And it'd take a long time, but you'd get a monster if you'd get one to bite it. And then, or you just chunk it, and then you'd have you just bait fish essentially. A
So
lot of different ways to.
big fish, like you get a nice, not a decent sized hook because you want to ruin the meat, but like a medium size, you go through the mouth and then go through the stomach. And basically, so it's gonna, like the hook is and vertically gonna be down and then through the stomach. So basically, if it bites, it's gonna bite the tail first. That's because it's a smaller contact over there. That's what they're gonna go for.
Right.
Because it immobilizes the fish and then they're able to eat it.
Yeah. But I'm a softy, dude. I always had a hard time with making shit suffer, and I just felt bad about fucking hooking a live fish and have it slowly die in the hook. I'm just, I don't know. I wish I didn't have these feelings, but that would be. It felt like morally it would be better just to just kill it and chunk it. But I've done it a few times. I just didn't enjoy
And
it.
you also have to do that as well to you do a few things, bro. You know?
Yeah.
It's a way of fishing, bro. That's just what it is. You gotta chum the water. Um, so it draws fish towards you.
But I'd say my favorite experience fishing was when we went out with my buddy's boat, and this was in Connecticut, and it was like September. It was September going in October, and this is after the bluefish run, and the stripers were like doing this like I don't know what was going on, but they were chasing up these bait fish. It might have been bunker, I don't know, but they were smaller, and they were working as like a team. So it would be like the water would be calm, and all of a sudden you'd start seeing these little fish start jumping, and then the water would explode, and the bass are all at the same time, all surfacing, hitting, jumping out of the water. And all you had to do is get a popper, or so, like it was like a blue and white popper. And as soon as you started seeing it start to break, you'd throw it out and just pop, and it was like almost every cast. And I got like from just that one event, I got like 15 photos of like different fish we caught. We just over and over and over again, just catching bass. Such a great time, and we didn't have to use any bait. It was just all lures.
Nice.
Yeah, I'd never seen that behavior before. I've only seen that with bluefish, but yeah, they definitely fish are a little bit more intelligent than we give them credit for. They definitely have a regional way of fishing to deal with their environment.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I was just watching this documentary before I got on Jeff's of killer whales, and in particular, killer whales that hunt in Antarctica. I think they call them. I think they have a specific name, like ice
Ice
whales,
water.
or what is it?
I have no idea.
Yeah,
So
but
they
it basically.
well, and then they eat the fucking liver. That's what you're talking about?
No. Okay, so killer whales they're like technically they're in the dolphin species, but they're like the black and white orcas.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
saying
we have
that's
those
how
up
they
here.
hunt. They usually like
You can see them on the ferry.
yeah, that's how they hunt, bro, in Antarctica, bro. That's how they eat. They eat the liver and all that stuff because it's the biggest port because they need a lot. It's cold over there, so they're gonna have to stay warm with those nutrients.
Right, but what they do, which is fascinating,
Yeah.
is they find they're looking for seals, in particular seals that are floating on a ice pack. I think they call it ice pack fishing, but they're looking for like a little seal that's basically on like a little mini iceberg. It's just chilling there. And what they do is, as a group, there'll be like four or five of them, and they'll swim it away, and then they flick their tail all at the same time, and it creates a wave, and they literally wash the seal off the ice pack, and then hunt, and then they eat it when it gets into the water. And it was just like, dude, it's incredible the amount of intelligence that they have. Like it started off with like a mother and a calf doing this thing where they get out of the water about 10 feet and they call it spotting, and they would look and you could tell that they were like they seen where this prey was. And then they obviously communicated under the water because there was just the two of them, and then out of nowhere, like 4 or 5 whales came in from like a long distance, and they didn't even spot. They just immediately went in and attacked together and got the first wave going without spotting or anything. So it showed that not only did they work together socially, but they were able to communicate over distance, saying that, hey, there's a seal on this thing, because there was no other way for them to see that. They were given the information underwater in the way they communicate. I was just blown away by the social intelligence of these animals. It was like I just couldn't get enough of it.
Maybe I'll go whale watching and we'll find some orcas.
Yo, look at this. I'm watching a polar bear attack a fucking orca. The polar bear just got fucked up. Because they
Dude, I would never. Look, the fucking killer whales, they have their name for a reason.
bro. Yeah. For sure. Like 3 of them. And then they protect the young. That they call it a catch. I know a lot about
Yeah.
Yeah, I know a lot about animals as well too, bro.
Well, same thing with the sperm whale. I was watching something on the sperm whale, and another big they basically their whole pod raises a calf. I mean, the entire pod is involved with raising their young, and they even have dialects. So depending on where the sperm whale comes from, they can tell based on the dialect of the sounds that they make. I mean, they have fucking dialects, dude. I mean, they're super intelligent.
They're mammals.
I know that, but like you could say a cow's a mammal, and a cow can
Well,
fucking.
how do you know cows don't have dialects?
I don't know. Maybe they do, but they don't. The amount of intelligence that you see in these sea mammals is just the closest thing I've seen to what we see socially with ourselves, and like I'd say like monkeys and primates, I should say.
Cows do not have dialects, but they can have individual vocalizations that vary slightly based on their herd and their social interactions.
Oh, isn't that a
All
dialect?
mews do not sound the same.
Well, I mean,
That
like,
makes
dude,
sense. Like as a mammal, that you'd want to be able to communicate with the mammals that are closest to your own tribe.
Well, so and then even the sperm whale is like like the size of their brain is like immense, and a majority of it has to do with their stored information to navigate and their ability to see 3-dimensionally without being able to see, but using their echolocation abilities to be able to see their environment. And like, I mean, their lungs are like the size of a room, and their fucking their ribs can
Right.
collapse to deal with pressures, that even
That's
submarines have trouble, dealing with. I mean, they're just they have like this hemoglobin and some other globin, like in such a dense a dense amount in their blood and muscles that they're able to store oxygen so they can hold their breath for 40 minutes at a time without resurfacing. I mean, they're just incredibly adapted to their environment.
yeah. Natural selection is an amazing thing.
It really is. But yeah, no, I could watch stuff on like fucking whales and shit. I love seeing like the intelligence in animals, because I feel like we think that we're like the only smart animals, but like, man, when
Oh
you start
no.
to see what these whales can do, it's like you start to wonder,
But I bet the whales can't build a rocket that goes into outer space and then comes back and lands in the exact
not
thing that they
yet.
want.
Yo, the only
Still think I'm still for Team Human. I still think we're at the top.
Yeah, no, for
Apex
sure.
creativity. Don't forget, we invented AI.
I was reading some of the jailbroken streams VIP. uh, yeah, and I guess the sperm whale has like can make like a
bro,
can make a vocalization that is like louder than like a jet engine under the water that like can literally blow your eardrums out.
Oh my god.
You
Yeah.
see this right here, Mr. P? You see this?
What is that?
It's a whale
Oh,
eating a polar bear.
wow. Yeah, that does not surprise me.
Bro,
And I bet there's polar bears out there that fuck up whales.
orcas are the only species that attach these polar bears. They're like the apex over there.
They come up. Is it coming up through the ice?
Now the
It
water.
looks like it's on the shore. Is that in the water?
Yeah, no, the polar bear goes to the water. They swim all that shit because they hunt.
So they're basically just they're utilizing the same hunting method that, by the way, the mothers pass down to their pod. So like the pod is really dependent on the experience of the mother, which they go through menopause just like humans around their 40s. They can live up to 100 years old. So like the pod really, the knowledge is passed down from the mother is key to each pod. And I'm sure they're just utilizing the same hunting methods that they use for seals. The problem is that the weather's changing so much, so their method of ice hunting is getting less and less effective, because there's less and less ice out there to for them to have that ability, that way of hunting. So I'm sure that they're starting to now have to change and adapt, and going after polar bears is just one symptom of that problem. I mean, they really need to eat about the equivalent of almost one seal per whale per day. You know. Hold on,
This
I'll be
was a
right
good
back.
stream. I feel like it was part nature documentary, part.
Yeah, are you shutting down?
I don't know. Where are y'all? It's
Yeah, I got to pretty much go anyway. So I appreciate you having me up, Nuns. It was good to talk to you.
Yeah, you too.
Um, yeah, but good live, Jeff.
seems like it's winding down. Yeah, and I'll be
Yeah,
out
buddy.
tonight too.
So
For
I
another.
got work to take care of. Y'all, I'll catch y'all later, bro. No
All
bullshit.
right, be easy.
You too.
Take care, Nunzio.
You too.
Be easy. All right. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. I'll be back out tonight for an open panel at some point. So look for me then. In the meantime, have a great Friday, end of the week for those of you that have a week, and we will do it again. See you then. Take care.